right, welcome back to a magical episode of Orange Peelers. Zane, how are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I still got the magic.
Yes. If you weren't going to make the joke, I was going to. Good stuff. We don't have to cut that one out this year.
Great magic round. Probably the best of all time. Very tight games except for one, but apart from that, it was awesome weekend.
And I feel like as you said, every game was, there was an 8-point game, but pretty much every game was one score. It went down to the final play, except the Storm game, which it was entertaining. There was plenty of tries, plenty of exciting tries, and the Eels got flogged. What more do you want out of magic round, Zane? It was obviously outside of our teams winning would have been nice.
Yeah.
But just as a neutral fan, I quite enjoyed it.
Yes. Wish I could have got there.
Yeah, next year.
Regret Bali now, but next year I will be there.
There we go.
No matter what the occasion, I'll sleep on the streets if I have to. I'll be there.
We'll just sleep at the Caxton.
I'll sleep
You don't even
anywhere.
need to be on the
Find a
streets.
tree in a park.
Find
I
a
don't care.
tree.
I'll be
Paul
there.
Ken has a couple of trees you might be able to borrow.
He does, but they're in Balmain, so be a bit
Yeah,
difficult to get them up there.
Yeah, a bit of a trek. All right, Zane. This week's
Shocking.
predictions went down to the wire.
Did they?
Me and you.
So
let me.
I tipped the Dogs, and I was skeptical. You can't run off the Raiders.
Let's preface first. On the podcast last week, you said you were taking the Titans. You then changed your tip
To
later
the
that
Knights,
night.
I know.
On our online competitive gaming, you said
thought the Titans would be back, but the Knights won, so who cares in the end?
So you have gotten a point there for Knights. We
Yes.
did change your tip.
Yes.
I want to keep that in mind. I think combined points, it'd be our worst week ever. We did really bad. So we both put up 4 out of 8. Our total points, I got 9 out of 24. Do you have any idea what you got?
Like 8.
9 out of 24.
Oh, it's a tie.
We tied. So
Okay.
then we go to the tiebreaker. Keep in mind, we're only tied because I was generous enough to change your tip. We go to the tiebreaker. Who got the most tips?
You did.
4 each. Tie again.
Tie again.
So then we go to the try scorers, Zane.
You would have got it.
You got it. You picked 3 of them, and
Got
I
a win.
picked 2 of them. And so down to the second tiebreaker, you won it.
Thank you.
So now it's 9-2 for the season. Well done. As I said, I was generous. I'll let you change your
That'll be the
tip.
Rabbitohs at the end of the weekend, 9-2, hopefully.
Yeah.
I've got a good feeling this
You want
weekend,
Rabbitohs
so-
to win 9-2.
Well, no, just like as our ladder.
Oh,
score,
yeah.
Not 2 wins, 9 losses.
Yeah. I'm with you. Because they've only won 1 game. It was
know.
against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it was against the Bulldogs.
Come on. But yeah, no. I remember last week on Orange Peelers, I said I like to do the score on the podcast now because this happens, and I did it not on the podcast, and I should have done it on the podcast because it went right down to the
Calculate the
wire.
score, yes.
Not 1 tiebreaker, but 2 tiebreakers. But yeah, you finally won your second round, and
When was my first win? Was it Easter?
yeah, I reckon it would have been a bit early.
When South
Probably the
won.
Good Friday week.
When
yeah.
South won, okay.
Yeah,
And I tipped
so-
the Bulldogs as well. that
Yeah.
round. So it might have not been, but
I think it was though. I think
Yeah,
it was.
okay.
But yeah, you did well, mate. I'm gonna say it. Maybe your season's not over yet.
maybe not.
Maybe not.
See if that's evidence. It means South season isn't over yet either.
Oh no, South season.
You never
is
know.
over.
If they can put 4 wins in a row, they'll be 5-9. So they'll be probably, I'd say, 6 points out of the 8.
I've never
That's
seen
the
somebody so positive after a loss. You just lost to the
Oh,
Cowboys and they're
I've been watching
garbage.
Jason Demetra a lot.
Yeah.
That's why.
All right, Zane.
Take the positives out
Our
of it.
round 11, our Magic Round review, starting off with a game that I'd probably prefer to forget. It
If you
was
saw
Raiders
my-
Bulldogs.
If you saw my tipping video, I said it's either going to be Bulldogs 13 plus or Raiders 1-12.
Yeah, and that's something I've said a lot in recent weeks in terms of the Bulldogs. But I'll tell you a yarn actually. Let me spin a yarn for you just quickly. And this is not a gambling ad, but on the way up to Magic Round, obviously I went to Magic Round. I went with my mate, and Flaxy was on my flight, so we split an Uber 3 ways. And on the way up in the car, Flaxy decided he wanted to put on a little bet. And because the NBA was on and he wanted to get on the Nuggets, who were losing, he wanted to get on them to win. Anyway, he decided to multi that into Bulldogs 13 plus because for some reason
Right.
he tends to listen to me when I'm telling him to put his house on the Doggies. He's got money on them to win the comp and he wanted to bet on them to beat the Raiders.
Oh, he needs to stop wasting his money because he owes me a lot of money. at the
Yeah, he
moment as well.
does.
Yeah.
Shout out to Flaxy. It's now confirmed.
It is
Wayne
confirmed.
Bennett. We're going to talk
He's
about that later.
avoiding it. He's avoiding talking about it.
Flaxy, this is a call out, mate. You owe Zane a lot of money. That was a bet.
lot of money.
But yeah, Flaxy, he calls up Sportsbet because he had to do a live bet because the NBA was
Yeah,
live.
he rings him, doesn't he?
So he rings
He's
them,
done that on our
and he
competitive
says,
online game
and he
before.
says, and he says to him, "I want Nuggets at the line, and I want Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs 13 plus." And they repeat it back to him, places the bet, and then in his Sportsbet account, they gave him Canberra Raiders 13 plus, not Bulldogs.
Oh.
And so then he had to go and carry it and try and get the bet changed. But the point I'm trying to make is he was on Canberra 13 plus, and my mate and the Uber driver were telling him, just leave it on Canberra 13 plus. Like, that might happen. It's good value. They're outsiders. And I was adamant. I'm like, no, if we lose, it'll be 1-12. The Bulldogs won't lose 13 plus, and they lost 1-12. So that's
And they should have won this game. But it's the Raiders.
Who, Bulldogs?
You just, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the Raiders who you just can never write off.
Yeah.
Never write off.
And
But 2 early tries off pretty unlucky circumstances, like Tracy just dropping it cold, and someone else
dropped it cold.
And
passed it to him.
And Burton missed conversions, which also lost his the game.
Yeah, because what did we lose by 4?
24-4.
And we missed 2.
Not 24-4.
Yeah, 24-4. 24-20. He missed 2 goals, and yeah, we went down 12-0 because of very, very, very bad errors. In fact, that Connor Tracy one, the set before when he caught the ball off the kick, I said to my mate, I was like, how good is Connor Tracy? He's so safe. Next kick, drops it, they score.
And Rapana does it later in the game.
Yeah.
And Xavier Savage, minutes later after giving it to Tracy after scoring that try, and he nearly dropped it. I'm like, imagine if the ball goes.
I'll tell you what, that Friday night footy in the second game as well was just slippery as everyone kept slipping over or dropping the ball.
Can I just say something that I've been holding all weekend? Josh Adokar. I understand the obstruction rule and getting taken out, but there is no need to do some big dramatic fall and put your hands in the air. Like, he's becoming one of the worst players at it. Josh Adokar, at putting his hands in the air.
Can I say something? Should have been a penalty try. He's the fastest man on the planet.
We don't know.
He's the fastest man on the planet.
Fumbled it. Like,
he would have got there.
Well, what if he fumbled it?
He would have got there.
What if he did get there?
He's the fastest man on the planet.
What if he did get there and fumble it?
He wouldn't have, mate. Fastest man on the planet.
Yeah, but I'm just sick and tired. Every time I see him on the camera without the ball, his hands are in the air.
I think
he's becoming Moses, Gufferson, Kieran Florence like that. Like,
you're not wrong. He does tend to, when he gets hit, he does do it a lot.
Yes, not even just in general.
I reckon? I haven't noticed it in general.
I've noticed that on Good Friday when another player takes a hit up, he's always putting his hands in the air, like offside, high tackle, something.
This is coming from the bloke with Latrell Mitchell and Cody Walker in his team.
I don't see them going around with their hands in the air.
I've noticed it when he gets hit. I haven't noticed it. I'm not saying he doesn't do it. I'm saying I haven't noticed it off the ball. But obviously Moses and Gutho are the most well known for that. But I do know what you're talking about, especially when he gets taken out late, which he gets taken out because he likes to do his little chip kicks.
Yes.
And he gets hit late or like as he kicks it a lot.
But
and then he always goes,
got a habit now. Every time he does that kick, he will jump to the floor.
Or
when he could just chase it.
Well, I don't think he had much choice when Rapana like full took him out. I don't know if that was jumping to the floor.
Yes, I know.
He got completely taken out in that
one. But the
one.
way he carried on about it, it's just really...
He just wanted the penalty.
And the other thing, kick out, he's a beast. We all know that. But I felt like the Dogs relied on him too much in this game and there was occasions where the Dogs were just like, here, kick out, you're a beast. Here's the ball. Go do something.
Yeah, they didn't.
He was just under so much pressure and he just folded under it.
Yeah, he had a pretty bad game, a lot of errors, and I think
Drew Hutchison is just like, here, kick out, you do something. I can't do something. You get the ball and do something.
Yeah, I think
too good. So.
Something we saw earlier in the season, especially in the Roosters game, the prime example was they were using kick out so well and putting him in all the right spots, and now they're sort of just overusing it. And I think at the same time,
you're a beast,
the defense is now more aware that we need to stop this guy.
And it's really.
And so they're more
I know
prepared
you're one against the Drew Hutchison criticism. But
not really. That's actually not.
He's an example of a player that's just giving it the kick out and just hoping for the best.
I would like it on the record saying that I'm not anti-Drew Hutchison criticism at all. I am very much a Drew Hutchison critic. I'm also I think that the criticism is over the top sometimes, and that there's not really anyone at the club at the moment that's the right replacement for him, and that he's doing enough to keep his job. And there's a difference between doing enough to be a long-term halfback or doing enough to play finals footy. But he's doing enough to keep his job. He's doing the absolute bare minimum.
Do you think Drew Hutchison can win the Bulldogs a premiership?
No, well, he might. I don't think he can, but crazy things have happened. Look back at a young Adam Reynolds at South Sydney.
Yeah, but he also had Sam Burgess.
There's somebody what team was it? There was a team that was just had a nobody halfback.
Yeah, well,
what am I thinking?
Adam Reynolds also had Sam Burgess, Greg Inglis, and Isaac Luke in his spine.
We got Max King.
Bulldogs don't.
Sam
Bulldogs
Burgess
have
in his
Reid
spine.
Marnie, Blake Taff, Connor Tracy at the moment.
Not Blake Taff.
They don't have that sort of spine.
What do you have against Reid Marnie?
I don't have anything against Reid Marnie's good, but
he's good.
Connor
Birdo's
Tracy
good. Birdo's the best player.
Blake
Connor
Taff,
Tracy's
Burden's
good.
okay. Then your lock is Max King, isn't it? Or
No,
James
our
Salmon?
lock is
And Curran.
Kurtman
Kurtman.
at the moment.
Yes.
He goes all right.
Compare that spine to the Rabbits 2014 spine.
Oh,
Sorry. No.
There's another team. I'm blanking
looking
now, but
back.
there was a halfback that was an absolute. And to be fair, whoever it was,
wasn't
had a
2016
good
Sharks.
spine. No, that was Maloney and Chad.
Yeah.
No, Chad Townsend. I don't know who I'm thinking of, but there's maybe like a Manly or some. I don't know. We'll skip past it because I can't be bothered to try and remember. But there was someone that was like a pretty average halfback, but in a really good team. And if Drew Hutchison was to win a comp as a 7, which he probably never will, respectfully, it would have to be that case.
What about Toby Sexton? Can he win his team a premiership at 7?
I don't think that Toby Sexton would do any better than Drew Hutchison.
No,
That's my thing.
And
with
that's
Drew
why
Hutchison.
I'm like, can the Bulldogs really win the comp this year?
They
when
will win
don't
the
have-
comp this year.
So Drew Hutchison can do it.
I don't think he can, but like the universe.
Well, who's going to be the 7 that wins him the comp?
I guess Blake Tuff maybe. No, I think Drew Hutchison. It's tricky because if he has the right people around him, he's capable of doing. If he's at his 100% best, putting people in the right spots and just doing his job to the best of his ability, like we needed Kyle Flanagan to do last year, he can. But like the Bulldogs forward pack, pretty weak, and Drew Hutchison isn't perfect.
They don't
He's
have
not
a
playing
halfback
perfect
either,
footy.
the Dogs. That's
Yeah.
what I'm...
I just think I'm like, once again, I'm not anti-criticising Drew Hutchison. He's definitely not the best option at all. He's probably a bottom 3 halfback in the NRL. The only halfbacks at the moment that he's better than are probably the ones that have been dropped. And there's probably some halfbacks that have been dropped this year that are better than Drew Hutchison, like Jackson Hastings. But I just think some of the criticism is unfair. He's not perfect, but he's not the worst player in the world. We've got wins. We're winning games. Obviously, we didn't win on the weekend.
He didn't win the
We
week
took it to
before.
Penrith.
And you didn't beat
We
South.
lost to Penrith by 6 points.
And you lost to South.
That's
Well,
like
currently
that's
the bottom
just
of the
one
ladder.
game. Yeah, but that's just a one-off game. That was early in the season. As the season's gone on, he's proven that he can win games. He put 24 points, 26 points on a Roosters side in one half. And the Roosters are a top 4 side right now. Drew Hutchison has proved that, no, he's not the best player, but he's capable of doing a job. Not the job, but a job. And he's doing enough to stay in first grade. That's where I stand on Drew Hutchison. If Toby Sexton was named this afternoon, I would not have been mad. But at the same time, I don't think Toby Sexton is going to do any better than Drew Hutchison is doing, because what Drew Hutchison brings
You were very
is
high
getting...
on Toby Sexton when he first played for the Dogs.
Yeah, because
Now you're just like, yeah,
he delivered.
he's okay.
He delivered a famous win against the South
against
Sydney
the reserve
Rabbitohs,
grade
mate.
South side.
The thing
But
that
now,
Drew-
and now you're just like, he's okay.
Well, if you watch, I don't know how much New South Wales Cup you watch, Zane, but if you watch Toby Sexton in New South Wales Cup, he's not setting the world on fire. And his biggest issue at the moment, from what I've heard, is his talk and his ability to get the team around, and even just his talk defensively. And that's why I think Drew Hutchison keeps getting picked, is because the one thing he does do that a lot of people don't see is he gets the boys around the park. He puts Matt Burton into spots, and we touched on it the other week. The reason the left side is humming is because Drew Hutchison is getting them around the park and into the right spots. And the reason that the attack wasn't humming as much on the weekend, as you said, is because Drew Hutchison wasn't doing that as good as he has done it in the past. Giving Kikau the ball when he probably shouldn't have the ball. There was a lot, and then there was just a lot of errors, just players getting the ball, from bad passes or at the wrong time. But at the same time, I thought Drew Hutchison had a really good game on the weekend. In the first half, he had a good first half. He set up 2 tries, and if you ignore the 2 tries we leaked, it was 12-0 to start with off errors, not defensive lapses, and certainly not anything that was Drew Hutchison's fault. We won the first half and we won the game, ignoring those 2 tries that weren't Drew Hutchison's fault. So I think, although Drew Hutchison does warrant criticism, and his biggest issue is his decision making, I think that he gets criticised too much.
You were very passionate there, weren't you?
That's my Drew Hutchison rate. That's been a long
But
time.
on to the
coming.
Raiders now, and there's honestly no standout players. They're all
Hudson
pretty
Young,
good.
standout
Hudson
player.
Young, yes, and you'll see that soon when we do our 5 foot 3 2 1s.
You just said there was no standout
I know, but I'm saying
players.
like all of them were just good. Like there was like Hudson Young, yes, but apart from that, there was no player that like flew out of the clouds and had an awesome game. Like they were just all just did their job. And got
KO
the win.
Weeks I thought was very good.
He was good. Xavier Savage, I thought, had a pretty solid game as well. But
Yeah, back to that.
But yeah, they just, as always, just did the job. Underdogs and got it done.
Yeah, I can't believe they were
currently
such
6
outsiders.
on
Yeah,
the
they're at the
ladder.
8, yeah. I think KO Weeks, shout out to him, he's copped a lot of criticism, just
Nah, he
really
was good.
unwarranted criticism, because I think when he came in to replace Fogarty, even me, I was like, that's not a halfback. But I don't think halfback is his best
Him or Drew
position.
Hutchison.
I would take very different halfbacks. If I think I don't know, they're very different halfbacks.
Yeah.
They're very different halfbacks. I think you'd have to say KO Weeks in all aspects is the better halfback, especially like based on Friday's game.
We're going
like on the field.
We're going on this Hutchison round again.
KO Weeks was the best halfback. But yeah, just they're different halfbacks. But no, shout out to KO Weeks for filling Fogarty's boots the way he has. Obviously, they lost the first game without Fogarty by a lot. Who flogged them? Sharks.
It was Sharks 40-0.
But
no,
then
the Cowboys. Wait, no, I'm thinking of when the Sharks beat the Cowboys. What am I thinking? No,
Sharks
40-0.
Yeah, and then
they
bounced back, beat Manly, bounced back, beat Bulldogs, who are both fringe, just outside. I think Manly were in the 8 at the time, but now they're just outside it, and Bulldogs are just outside it as well. So, yeah, no, shout out to KO Weeks and the Raiders.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, somehow they'll be back. Oh, they've got a bye this week, so they're going to stay there for a little bit, but, Bulldogs put 30 on them, so they'll be dealt with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything much else to touch on. Bulldogs just made too many errors, didn't complete enough sets. As I said, it was slippery, but it's not an excuse.
Bombed, pretty.
Blaming the goal kicking should never be.
I know
it's
not unless it's a grand final and you lose by 2 points out of Reynolds. But
it's a different circumstance though. The goal kicking didn't leak the first 2 tries.
I know.
The errors did.
And that's what
you can't come out and be like, we lost because Matt Burton missed 2 goals. No, we lost because of our errors. We made errors and the Raiders scored off the back of them and we just didn't complete enough sets. The passing was a bit off and the attack was a bit clunky. We scored 3 tries in the period where it was against 11. We scored 1 try outside of that period and that's just simply not good enough. A lot of people I see are blaming a lot of people are saying the issue was the Bulldogs against 11 men weren't good enough. I disagree. I think
they got a bunch of tries.
Yeah, against 11 men, they scored 3 tries in like 7 minutes. That wasn't the issue. The issue was the other 70 minutes of the game when they weren't scoring. But I think that was probably one of their worst performances of this season, I'd say, to be honest. Like, what do you think? Would you say a top 3 worst performance from the Dogs this year?
You're losing to the side coming last, so I don't think so.
I said top 3 worst performance. They didn't lose to South
maybe
3
top
times.
3, yeah. But
yeah. I'd say the Souths game, probably the worst
game,
performance.
Who else did they lose to? Like Eels, they lost to.
Oh, yeah, Eels are up there. But, take away the first 2 weeks when it was a brand new side, they haven't played together. Let's go from round 3, they lost to Souths, probably the worst. Either that or... I think they played worse in Magic Round than they did against Souths, to be honest. And so it's probably a top 2 worst performance, and they still lost by 4 points. Like, their worst performances
they got good for it against
and their best performances are pretty close to
They got good for it against at the moment.
I think they're still in the positives.
Yeah, they are.
It's hectic. That's unheard of for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
But it was just a very disappointing game. And once their defense this year, I'm pretty sure they still sit top 3. And as I've said over and over, the first 2 tries were just off errors. They weren't defensive issues. They were offensive issues. And that's what's frustrating because we should if you want to play finals, you have to win those games. And they didn't win that game. That's what's frustrating. And come the end of the season, if you're sitting 2 or 4 points outside of the top 8 and you look at the South game,
you're going to look back
at the Storm game and be like, and you look at the Raiders game and you go, well, we probably should be in the top 8.
Exactly what I did last year when we lost. When I look back to that game when we lost to the Raiders. At the time, I was just like, whatever. But I'm like, needs to win that. Yeah. Raiders would have missed and we would have made it.
And that's the difference between teams that play finals and teams that don't. The teams in the finals are the teams that win those games. And that's the Raiders this year, to be honest. The Raiders are just grinding out games and winning games against Manly, as you said. They beat Manly, they beat the Dogs. There's some sides earlier in the year that they beat.
They played at Roosters this week. That's going to be pretty interesting.
2019 grand final rematch. But anyway, let's move on from that game. Manly Broncos
13-12 to the Broncos.
Absolute cracker game. Almost. It's very hard to say what game was the best game this week because there's so many.
Broncos scored early. I thought they'd roll over Manly in this game, but Manly, I know they're not in the 8 anymore. They showed a lot of fight in this game, and I think people have ridden them off too soon. Yeah, they really gave it their all here.
I couldn't believe the words I was hearing from people sitting around me in the second half and at halftime. Everyone, there were people around me celebrating their multis getting up because they had Broncos 13+. Everyone was just going Broncos, another easy win. That was the vibe at Suncorp. Walking around, just everyone was just high on the Broncos. I'm thinking, are we watching the same
Manly?
Manly are in
I think Manly are still a top 8 side.
Manly, just in terms of this game, though, they were hanging in the game so hard.
It was 12-0 at halftime or 12-0
at halftime. And they were just hanging in. They were building momentum slowly. And I think the second half, the scoreboard shows it all. Like in the second half, I thought they were the better team. And obviously went down by a field goal, a Jock Madden field goal. If you told me that out of Cherry Evans and Jock Madden, it'd be Jock Madden to kick the winning field goal, I wouldn't have believed you. But no, it was a very good game of football.
It was very good. Not as entertaining as some other games, I don't think, but it was just, a solid game. I think both sides are definitely top 8 sides this year. Like, I'm not writing Manly off it yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't lock. I don't know. I wouldn't lock Manly to that, but at the same time, I wouldn't say they can't play finals. They're definitely thereabouts, and they're definitely one of those teams that are like anywhere from 6th to 10th. Just one of those fringe teams. There's that big group of teams where there's like 8 teams that have got to fit into 4 spots. And Manly definitely in there, and probably one of the better ones in there, especially this is a performance without Turbo as well.
When they pull it together, they're a very good side, Manly.
Yeah, 100%.
But they have a pretty tough run coming up, I think.
Do they?
I think so. They played Dolphins last week, Broncos this week. I'm pretty sure they've got Melbourne this week.
Yeah, they do. Melbourne and Brookvale. I can't wait
Hang on, I'm going to have a look through their draw.
That's going to be an absolute cracker.
At Brookvale, is it? Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Then they got the bye, then they got the Panthers.
Yeah, okay.
Again, then they got the Dragons, then South. So it gets easy after that.
Yeah. So they're in their tough period at the moment.
So Storm by Penrith.
Because it was Dolphins, Broncos, Storm by Penrith. So tough 5 weeks, excluding the bye, obviously. Yeah. What'd you make of the Broncos? Obviously, no Reece Walsh. He got ruled out late.
Yeah,
probably went to fullback.
Didn't have as much attacking spark as what they usually do with no Reynolds and no Walsh. But they just still, they won the game, so another 2 points. Yeah. That's what I can say about that.
And as we just said,
Manly very unlucky, but
that's what the good sides do. They win those games. And I'm not saying Manly aren't a good side, although I feel like if Broncos were at full strength, even if they just had Walsh, it probably would have been an easier win for the Broncos. But you can only play what's in front of you. So credit to Manly for especially going down 12-0 early and then hanging in the game and keeping it competitive, giving everyone a bit of a show. But yeah, the Broncos iced it at the end. Obviously,
this is the last time they're going to play each other in Magic Round, isn't it?
Is it?
Oh, I thought Manly weren't going to have a home game.
Yeah, Manly don't want it to be home. I guess Broncos never have it at home. So yeah, maybe.
I'll play like South or something you watch next year.
Yeah, probably.
If South are even going to play there next year.
South's probably have the bye.
Yeah, they won't do that. No way will they give South the bye. They got too much of a supporter base for them.
Yeah, no
I don't know who will get the bye next year. I can see like the Sharks.
Who had it last year?
Maybe not the Sharks.
Like Tigers, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Tigers.
Sharks there was lots of Sharks fans.
Yes, but yeah.
There was lots of Sharks fans.
Won't be the Sharks. Raiders, maybe.
I'll tell you the 3 teams that had the least amount of fans there, excluding Dragons, obviously.
The Queensland teams you can rule out, they're going to be playing.
Well, the 3 teams that had the smallest attendance in their supporter bay, I'll give you a couple guesses.
Titans.
Yeah, Titans was one. Dolphins was one. And then Tigers. But Dolphins and Tigers, to be fair, were the Sunday last.
But let me just say is that Titans and Dolphins aren't going to be rubbed out of it. They're not going to get rid of a Queensland team. It'll be a New South Wales side.
Honestly,
I can see where it's Canberra or Tigers.
Never say never. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me
if a Queensland team got left out.
Yeah, because it's an away game for them anyway.
Yeah, I just feel like the NRL wouldn't be.
Looking at that Titans bay that got maximum 3/4 full, the Dragons filled theirs last year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because they like to spread the Queensland teams out as well throughout the weekend.
But
unless they decide
they just didn't draw the fans.
Axe one of them and just have one Friday, one Saturday, one Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I'm not saying it will happen, and I probably, if I was the one picking the teams, I'd have all the Queensland teams playing. But I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me
if the Titans.
I can see a world where the Titans, maybe even Cowboys, if they don't go too good this year, get left out.
They're not going to leave the Warriors out anymore.
No, Warriors are safe. And Broncos and Dolphins are both Brisbane teams.
I think Canberra not making
Canberra get big crowds.
Canberra but I can see a world where they don't. They just decide to move them on.
Honestly, Bulldogs would be up there as a team that could miss out. I feel like
Bulldogs
we probably
have never won there either.
We should have.
That was their reason for the Dragons. So the Dogs got lucky.
Eels, I don't know. Storm.
They won't leave Eels.
Storm didn't have that many.
So I feel like the Bulldogs missed a bullet this year because they literally said the reason the Dragons aren't playing is because they've never won. Neither have the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you said this last week.
It's probably a toss of a coin between the 2 clubs of which one misses out. Unfortunately, the Dragons lost. So.
I'll tell you what, for a team that weren't playing, remember? Last year the Knights weren't playing, and there was still plenty of Knights fans. This year, Dragons not playing. I saw barely any Dragons fans. So they sort of just proved themselves as why they weren't playing. I'll tell you that for free. They didn't do themselves any favors of being like, hey, you should have picked us. They sort of just went, meh. Obviously, like, Dragons fans aren't going to travel up, but I guess they probably just have one of a smaller.
Yeah, Julian was going to go,
Queensland
but then he didn't.
Yeah,
Wonder why.
Fake fan.
Fake fan.
Fake fan, mate. No,
Yeah.
his team
Should have
wasn't
made
playing.
a statement to why the Dragons should be there, but no.
Yeah,
they
well,
decided
that's
not.
what I mean.
Just like when they got kicked out of the comp, they're just like, oh, whatever, we'll merge.
Yeah, well,
Whatever.
yeah,
we couldn't care.
They were South Sydney on the flip.
Yeah,
were
well,
like,
we surged. They just said, whatever, we'll merge with the Illawarra.
and South were like, "Are you going to kick us out? Screw you!
Yeah,
I'll see you
exactly.
in court." Dragons just like, "Whatever, all right, let's go Illawarra. We're a team now." South's like, "No, we're not merging with anyone.
Exactly
we're
right.
staying."
And everyone wanted the merger of us for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Dragons wanted to, Sharks
Yeah.
wanted to. We're like, no,
No,
not happening.
No, we're our own
Taking
team.
our status from us.
Yeah,
Just because Cronulla had never won a comp and they wanted to take out 20 premierships as well. Make them look good.
the
But
Cronulla Sutherland Rabbitohs.
that's what I don't like
South
is how
Sydney
Dragons...
Sharks. Oi, South Sydney Sharks sounds all right.
It does, yes. But
South Sydney Sharks.
yeah, it wasn't going to happen. No way. But anyway,
Let's go to Titans. Speaking of the Titans,
this was a surprisingly entertaining game.
yeah, very great game.
Strange things happened as well. Like, obviously, between Jackson Hastings and Aaron Schoff. I don't know
Yeah.
what went on there,
Yeah.
but Fafita was on the ground. Hastings walks past him, and then Fafita's like milking of something on the ground. Then he just gets up. He's fine. He's not injured anymore.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
The
Like,
referee splits them apart. Very next set, Schoff and Hastings come together. They're
Yeah.
both in the bin.
let me tell you this. Not Aaron Shop. Jackson Hastings, grub. He was very.
I want to
very
know what he
grubby.
said to Fafita.
Oh, I'd
That
love
really
to know.
Revved him up.
Let me ask you this.
Because it wasn't just Fafita. All the Titans players were pissed after that. You could hear them on the mic to the ref. They're like,
Yeah.
it's him again. It's him again.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
as in Hastings.
Yeah, they'll, like when the penalty when Shop got sin bin, like
Yeah.
some of the Titans players were like, it's him again. Like, what are you
Yeah.
going to do about it? Like,
Well, this is obviously I wasn't on TV, so I didn't have the hot mics. But from what I saw, and this is what happened, just without I don't know the context of what they were saying, but the Aaron Shop and Hastings come together, a bit of push and shove between both teams. Obviously, more players come in. Knights get the penalty. Jackson Hastings then takes the next run and just starts a fight again.
yes, but what happened is they weren't going at Knights players. All the Titans players were talking about Hastings and they were looking at Hastings
Yeah.
and none of the other Knights players. And Hastings was just laughing. Like,
Yeah, well,
I want to know what was said.
That's what I mean. Like, Hastings got the penalty and then started a fight. And then after starting the fight, took a run and then started another fight.
Yes.
Like, why? Why?
And then
it's moments like that where I'm
then you
like,
saw
I can
him-
see why he's been to
Then
five
you saw
different
him in the
clubs.
sheds when he was in the sin bin and Titans got a bunch of tries and he throws
Yeah.
his water bottle.
Yeah.
He's like, I've just blowing this here, but
I was like,
Titans,
yeah, I can see why he's played for so
another
many clubs.
traditional concede 2 tries early on and then fight back into the game as they so usually do. They were up 24-10 at halftime,
Yep.
weren't they? I thought they probably would win in a grind, but Knights fought their way back in.
They didn't score a try in the second
Titans
half.
should
The
have won.
Titans.
Let me say it. Brian Kelly that was a try.
Yeah, 100%. That was a
100%.
try.
Sound
Titans
like
were
Des has
robbed.
a right here.
Yeah.
Try every day of the week.
No,
Didn't-
it was not only was it a try, but the fact it was awarded a try on the field. Like, if I was in the bunker, I think
Yes.
looking at it,
Like,
it's a try.
how
But you
was it
can't
not a try?
overrule it. They overruled the on-field
I
decision.
know.
It was given try.
saying it was a strip.
Yeah, like he scored. He put the ball down.
If it's a strip, then it's a
It's a
penalty.
penalty. Yeah,
Like,
I just don't understand how that wasn't a try, especially when you consider that the on-field decision was try. If this was back in the day where there was no on-field decision and it was just sent upstairs, I think I would that's a try for me. I think that's a try. But then you add in the fact it was on-field try. That means they have to be 100% certain that it's not a try. There is no way they are 100% certain that's not a try.
They just
And as you said,
obviously
they said it
won't.
was a strip, which I guess you're allowed to strip over the line though. So then it becomes
Yeah, well, then it should
where
have
was
been
the
a
ball?
penalty then.
Yeah, no, it's not a penalty if you do it over the try line.
really?
Yeah.
So it's just a dropout or
Yeah,
Okay, well-
but I'm not certain that. Yeah, it was a try. Let's leave it. It was a
It
try.
was a try.
I thought it was a try. I thought the Titans were robbed. Then that was their only try in the second half. They're very much the first half Titans.
they're playing a lot better, the Titans, yes. And despite not having Brimson, not having Foran, they had a good effort here.
Oh.
And the Knights, once again, winning in a tight one, not winning well, but winning. They're in the 8 at the moment.
Considering that Brimson and Foran were out, that's a
And Tino.
fantastic
Keep forgetting
performance.
Tino.
And Tino.
Tino's still gone.
That's a fantastic effort from the Titans to
Yes.
basically win the game.
They're really showing
And I think-
recently that Des Haas is coaching them.
Yeah.
They're just staying in games, hanging in there.
Yeah.
We saw last year they just choked second half as well. I mean, they did in this game, but not to an extent that they used to.
Yeah, I also just think it shows like the Knights managed to beat Tino-less, Tino-less, Foreign-less, Brimson-less Titan side by 4 points in controversial fashion. I don't think they're as good as the latter suggests.
Oh, neither do I. And I've said that for weeks. Like, they beat Melbourne under strength.
Yeah.
They beat the Tigers last week, which means
Well, they've won in their last 4 games, but yeah, like they are going on a bit of a run.
I'm ready for like you remember the Dogs belted them a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
like, I'm ready.
We play them next week.
I'm ready for them to play like a top side and just get absolutely walloped.
Well, yeah, we put 30 on them last week. They're coming off a bye when we play them, but like if we just play the same we played against, like we weren't even that. Like we played good, but we weren't perfect in that game. Like I think when they run into just any of the top 8 sides, yeah, they're in for a shock at the moment. Unless they improve, I just don't think they're playing as good as the ladder suggests.
Neither do I. I've just been so bored watching their games as well, except for this one. This one was just...
It was an entertaining
It was
game.
entertaining. There was just a lot of weird things that went on that really made me enjoy watching it.
Speaking of teams not performing the way the ladder suggests, I think the Sharks are the opposite. I think they are the real deal because the Sharks in first position and they're the form team of the competition.
They are.
What do you make of Sharks Roosters?
They concede a lot in this game, but who cares?
Yeah. Winners
They're beating
win.
the top sides.
Yeah.
Getting it off their back that they can do it.
Yeah,
and they're winning Magic Round as well.
Yeah, finally.
They're beating all their Hoodoos. That they suffering. Nico Hines, he's got to be in Origin. He's got to be.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't care. Like Kennedy scored minute into the game. Roosters bounced back, just back and forth game that entire time.
Yeah.
And of course, Tom Hazelton had to be the final man to score.
Well, literally the entire game. I said this watching. I'm like, this has been just back and forth. I think Sharks went up. So like I'm looking at it here. So
You know,
it was 6-0. What did both? Oh, Sam Walker missed a goal, but it was like Sharks scored, Roosters scored, Sharks scored, Roosters scored, Sharks scored, Roosters scored, Roosters scored, Sharks scored, Sharks scored, Roosters scored, Sharks scored.
Yeah, but
literally back and forth.
Said all
How
the
good?
Sharks tries were just luck. There was they got nothing.
That is just not true
I
at all.
completely disagree.
No,
with
the
that.
Sharks were fantastic offensively, and obviously
the
they leaked
Roosters, on
30
the other
points.
hand,
But
aren't beating top sides.
yeah,
They're bashing the shit. The bad teams put 48 on the Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
Put 60 on the Dragons, but they've lost to the Panthers, the Storm, the Sharks, and they lost to the Bulldogs as well.
Bulldogs.
Yeah. Roosters are flat track bullies. I'm saying it right here,
Panthers,
right now.
Storm, Sharks, and Bulldogs, the top 4 teams of the comp, I think.
They're losing to flat track bullies.
They are
they're
flat
not
track
losing.
bullies.
The Roosters are flat track bullies, and I'm saying it right here, right now. And I don't care if I get roasted for it. They are. They're not beating the good sides, but they're beating up on the
Just biased. You're just biased, bro.
It's not biased.
You're biased.
It's facts.
You're biased.
It's facts. It's what's happening.
No, I'll tell you what. If you're scoring 30 points in a game and losing,
Exactly.
concerning. Because that's the difference here. You can sit here and say to the Sharks, oh, you conceded 30 points, you're not that good. They conceded 30 points and won the game. Roosters scored 30 points and lost. That's like, you can't be doing that.
What happened to the Bondi Wall?
Yeah, Bondi Wall.
Non-existent.
more
Stayed in Sydney.
It was a Bondi Gate, Zane. They were letting anyone through. Goodness me. Turnstiles. But yeah, as you said, Tom Hazelton, the shine, the bold-headed shine. The sun, it glistens off his head. The lights at Suncorp were glistening off his head. You had to put sunnies on. It's that shiny. He scores the match-winning in Andrew Fafita fashion, 2016 grand final-esque. And this game not ended the exact same way, but the way, in terms of scoring and momentum and stuff, it was the exact same as the Storm game the week before, where the Sharks just are in the game, and then late in the game, bang, bang,
Got it
couple
done.
tries, game over. Unlucky Roosters, unlucky Storm. Obviously, I feel like you would have thoroughly enjoyed watching the Roosters lose, eh?
I did.
Who were your standout? Obviously, we said Hines, but who were the standout
Kennedy,
players?
Brayley, the whole Shark spine, and Tom Hazelton.
Tom Hazelton.
And Teak Wilton. Like, who can I fault? Mulatalo as well. Like,
Yeah.
who is there the fault?
Mulatalo is probably the only one I would fault, and that's because I'm biased and he didn't do that good for me in Supercoach. And so I'm off him, but like, he was solid. It just didn't show up in Supercoach, unfortunately. I'll tell you what, where's Tom Hazelton from? Surely he gets an Origin call-up.
Yeah.
Cold
for
hero.
sure.
He'd do a job.
He'd be from the Shire, wouldn't he? Yeah,
He'd-
no way.
He'd do a job though. I wouldn't pick him. And we're going to talk about Origin instead of our Q&A today.
I could name some people
He'd do a
who-
job.
There's a lot
He's
of
a
people.
future Origin player. I'm calling him.
Okay.
Don't you reckon? He's an Origin player.
Lachlan Ellis would do a
tough.
job as well.
No, mate. Where is Lockie Ellis right?
He's got a broken leg.
He's
And
He's
Tom
like
Hazelton
third in the pecking order
Tom
now.
Hazelton can do a job. Lachlan Ellis can as well.
Are you trying to say that Ilias... can we not insult Tom Hazelton? Are you serious?
They're completely different players.
Bro,
first of
there's
all,
no way you're saying Hazelton and Ilias are on the same level. There's no way you're saying that.
At their peak,
Hazelton's a gun.
Hazelton's never won a semi-finals game either.
Has Lockie Ilias?
Yes.
What, one?
2.
Oh,
Beat
he's
the
won
Roosters,
2,
beat the
sorry.
Sharks. There we go.
Tom
Beat the
Hazelton
Sharks.
has never missed a final series. There's no way you're actually trying to say that Ilias and Hazelton are on the same level.
I'm not trying to say that, but if you're saying Hazelton
You're a
would do a
fool.
job in Origin,
I'm saying
like,
that Tom Hazelton would do a job in State of Origin.
okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
You don't reckon he's
So
an
you've
Origin
got,
player?
You've got him in your side, do you?
No, I literally, if you listen to me, I said I wouldn't pick him this year.
Maybe
but
in a
I can
few
see
years'
him.
time.
I can see him playing Origin in the future. That's
Maybe in a
literally
few
what I
years'
said.
time,
That's what I
but-
said. Rewind the tape. That's literally what I just said. And then you're like,
I
oh,
was
he's
just
as good as
stunned by
Ilias.
the fact that you actually consider him for Origin.
I'm not
Oh,
considering
okay.
him for Origin. I'm saying he'd do a job in Origin. He's an Origin player, a future Origin player.
Well, like Jesse
In a few
Ramian
years.
would as well.
No, I would not pick up
Saifidi
Ramian.
brothers have done a job. I'm sure Jack
Yeah.
Hetherington, if he got out there, he'd do a job.
Saifidi brothers have.
Pangai Jr.
The Saifidi brothers have literally
Pangai
won
Jr.
State of... I wouldn't have Tavita Pangai Jr. in that category at all. Why are you trying to suggest that I'm picking Tavita Pangai Jr.?
No, I'm not. Just
Bruh.
we'll move on. We'll move on.
I can't believe you just compared Tom Hazelton to Lockie Ilias.
I did, yes.
Why?
Because they're completely different players, first of all.
Well, so why are you
and one's
comparing
more proven than the other.
Tom Hazelton?
No.
He's never been dropped. Like Tom Hazelton isn't like I'm not saying if you listen to me, Zane, I said he's not in my side and I wouldn't pick him this year. But he's the kind of player the way he plays would do a job in Origin, and I can see him playing Origin in the future.
for Origin last year
Yeah.
after one game.
I don't know why we kept you on orange peelers after that, mate. Maybe I'll give Hainsey a
man.
call. Goodness me,
Oh,
comparing
man.
Lockie Ilias to the Shine, that is actually embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Like he'd do a job, the way he plays rugby league football, he'd do a job in Origin. I want to see that shiny head in a sky blue jersey, not the Sharks type. I want to see that shiny head run out against a bunch of Queenslanders at Suncorp, and I want to see the maroon off his head because it's that shiny. You'd see the reflection of the crowd. South Cowboys. Let's talk about how bad South Sydney are. Zane.
Everyone wanted to say this was going to be the worst game of the round. I don't think it was. I think it was pretty entertaining. Came down to the wire, but Cowboys.
Oi, nah. Shout out to everyone that left this game. There were so many that left early. Sucked into them. The ending to this game was electric. It was one of the better endings of the weekend. I think behind the Manly Broncos game, which was a field goal, this was the best ending to a game.
So Cowboys
So exciting.
got up early. Trell bounced back with his own try. Look what happens when he runs the ball close to the line. He had like 6 people on him, and he still got the ball.
He should
down.
probably play prop.
Johnston finally got a try. Well, the Trill could play anyway, but it was back and forth.
I'd play him at prop.
South made too many mistakes, and then Cowboys just executed more than what we did.
Yeah, I think the moral of this game, Zane, is that South suck, and they are owned by Braden Burns.
Well, yeah, Braden Burns, yeah. I mean, but who was defending? I'm trying to think on that.
It would have been
Thompson.
Cheekham's side and Thompson. Shocking.
Yeah, there we go.
Or was it Gagai?
Yeah, it was
No,
Gagai.
not
Gagai
Thompson.
and who was that sound? I'm trying to
Cheekham.
remember.
Was it not Cheekham?
The side's a mess at the moment. I'm trying to like remember who.
Was it not
like
Cheek-
I
was
can't.
Cheekham?
The back line I can't even
It was
remember.
Cheekham and Gagai, I'm telling
I don't even know who the back line is this week.
Cheekham, Gagai. It's the same.
It is.
It's
Is it the same?
Milne, though. Not
Yeah, well,
Wyden,
okay,
Wyden's
yeah.
in the halves.
Anyway, yeah. South's made some weird decisions. Like Cook left and went into the lock with Mamazulis coming on.
Well, yeah, that's the point I was going to make is why I'm so adamant that South Sydney suck. And to be fair, injuries probably playing a role. But why on earth is Damien Cook going
They're
into
just trying
lock?
something new. They're trying to make him to more of a playmaker sort of
It's
role. Like
stupid.
Cody Walker as well. Like he got a try, yes, the back end of the game, but he's become more of like a halfback sort of role now. And
When
we've
he's
seen this week
halfback
he's
this
been like
week.
he's been doing a lot more cooking, and it's just a lot more kicking.
A lot more cooking.
I was thinking of Damien.
Cody
I was
Walker's
thinking
in
of
the
Damien
kitchen.
Cook and kicking at the same time.
Cody
No,
Walker's in
he's
there
doing a
some
lot more
cooking.
kicking, not cooking.
Chef Walker.
I mean, he's not cooking at the moment, but he's kicking.
He's not-
Yeah,
he's not
not
cooking.
kicking well, but he's just and obviously the sin bin at the back end of the game.
Yeah.
That was
Chaos.
I disagree, but I'm biased, so I'm not even going to go into that.
Who's Dion?
Yeah.
What did he get sin bin for again? I feel like it was
the
a pretty...
penalty. There was the 8-point try because he came in hot when Dion scored. He came in hot.
No, that was the worst sin bin. That's honestly, that was one of the worst sin bins I've ever seen.
and it was an 8-point try, but they missed the kick.
I
And then
very much wanted to sit here and be like, no, Zane, that
Damien
was a sin
Cook
bin.
scores
but nah.
back into the game. Troll misses from in front. I'm like,
how did he miss
I don't
that?
know. Tommy Cooper, we need you out there. I know you're watching this, Tom Cooper. We've seen your goal
Goal
kicking,
kicks.
you would have kicked that goal. I would have kicked that
I
goal.
was,
Like,
that was right in front of me, and I was like, I wasn't even watching because it's like a goal in front. I'm not.
were you
looking.
one of the guys booing Latrell?
No, I didn't boo Latrell.
Rubbish.
I wasn't at my seat when the game started. Otherwise, I would have booed him. I didn't boo Latrell, unfortunately. I was walking around the
side of the field
concourse
when it happened.
Yeah, well, I had just seen Hainsey. That's why I wasn't at my seat because Hainsey was on the opposite side, and I'd just seen him to see what he was thinking pre-game. He was a nervous man from before the Sharks game. And then went back to see what he's like after the game, and he was a depressed man, saying Roosters robbed and all that sort of thing that you'd expect out of him. And then I didn't get back to my seat in time, but yeah. I would have booed him. I would have. I hate Latrell Mitchell.
Then he got absolutely rocked back the first carry of the game.
Unfortunately, missed
then the commentators
that as well.
once again sucking up to him. They're like, they're like the Cowboys are ready for him, and then the commentators are like, that could fire Latrell up as well.
Yeah.
That happened. I'm like, Latrell, look, didn't have a terrible game. Didn't have an amazing game, but didn't have a terrible game.
Yeah, he was all right.
He ran the ball, tried to execute opportunities, but in that left side at the moment, all of them are getting in each other's way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's too many good players on that side.
He ran for 70 metres, Latrell, so another week where he was just allergic to that 100-metre mark as a fullback.
He got involved more.
No, yeah, he did. Well, he had 14 touches, so he was definitely involved more. A line break, 2 try assists, scored a try,
I'm just waiting for
10 tackle breaks.
I'm just waiting for that week where we win a game and I can finally give him points. I'm like, this is going to be the week I can... Because when we win, he's getting points. I don't care if
because they don't win if he's bad.
I don't care if he does nothing in that game. If we win the game, he'll be getting points. Maybe even the 5 points.
What a broken system.
Maybe even the 5 points just to move him up that list.
What a broken system.
But yeah, I feel like another 5 minutes, South probably could have got over him here.
I thought Souths were going to win.
You did?
In that back end.
Walker got the try,
in the
Cook
back
got
end.
the try.
Just all the momentum they had.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it was insane.
But they bombed a few opportunities, especially early, like when Johnston just put it down cold. Sean Kepi was over the line and dropped it on it.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah. Could he go down as probably the worst signing of the season, Sean Kepi, you reckon?
Yeah. I can't think of who else would be there.
I was sceptical when we signed him because I never rated him at Manly.
Oh,
now he's at... And I'm
Bud Sullivan.
yeah.
No, Sean Kepi probably is lower than Bud Sullivan, actually. Yeah,
no, Sean Kepi had him in his potential candidates for the New South Wales.
Oh, he wasn't a candidate. That was a list of people eligible.
Yeah, but he didn't have Luke Brooks on the list, and he had Bud Sullivan.
Okay, well, that's a bit of a boo boo from Clarkie's rugby league column.
There was someone else that he missed out on as well.
Because to Clarkie's credit, those aren't lists of who he'd pick or anything. They're just the eligible.
I know, but I'm gonna find this.
If he's left off Luke Brooks and put in Bud Sullivan,
there was another person he left out as well. That was pretty
better than Bud Sullivan.
Better than Bud Sullivan.
Yeah, that's like when he did his pyramids and the prop pyramid. He just didn't have
Chad Townsend's the other one
that wasn't there.
Yeah, he didn't have Chad Townsend or Brooks, but he had Bud Sullivan.
As
potential.
That is a bit of a boo boo. Oh well, he does that sometimes. He did the front row pyramid and didn't have Josh Curran on it. Yeah. At all. That's at least have him in tier 4.
Did he have Tom Hazelton?
I know he did. I think Tom Hazelton might have been number 1.
Yeah, but he said in that list, people get confused. He said no particular order.
Oh, as in for Origin. I'm talking about the pyramids.
No, not the pyramids. That's the Origin order.
Well, as I said, that's just eligible. Yeah, it's not it's literally just these are the eligible players. I think he could probably brand those posts a little bit better.
I'm trying to look. What was Tigers' biggest losing streak last year?
I don't know why. Hope that.
Because I'm trying to work out when South could be due for a win.
I feel like South are never going to win a game again.
I disagree. I feel like they will.
I think South will never win again.
We said this about the Tigers last year. We're like, they don't look like winning, but South will get a couple of wins.
No, I think South will win this weekend.
You do?
Yeah.
I've got a good feeling. It's Indigenous round. I know you're going to be like, they lost last year. I'm like, yeah, they lost when we had 5 in a row. Needed a loss. And Parra had Guffo and Moses.
Needed a loss. The loss. That game sent you spiraling. It was a loss that we're
due for. But
that is not. You did not need that loss because your season fell apart from that moment.
Moses and Guffo destroyed us in that. Moses and Guffo destroyed us in that game. They're not playing this game.
They're also coached by Trent Barrett.
You can't get over that, can you?
Oh, how long until we talk about the Eels? We've got to get through another game. I cannot wait to talk about Trent Barrett. Oh, it brings me joy, Zane.
It's only for temporary.
We get to play them in a couple of weeks too. How good. Cannot wait to versus the Trent Barrett coached Eels. We're talking about South Sydney.
You're literally blaming Trent Barrett when the poor guy just came in such a bad time.
Came in at a bad time. There were 2 coaches before him.
Yeah, but it was
we should have been on the up.
He came in on the lowest point of the Bulldogs rebuild.
Bro, he signed
Before
Matt
it got
Duffy, who left
I know,
mid-season. Who was the other player that left
Dusty
mid-season?
wasn't a bad pick at the time.
He ended up having to leave mid-season because he was so bad.
I know, but
Trent Barrett can't coach.
I feel like
Barrett can't
Dusty. I always rated at Dragons. He wasn't good.
Yeah,
at
he was
the
a gun
Dogs,
at the Dragons.
But
and then Trent Barrett ruined his career.
when he got signed, were you guys excited? You're
Yeah,
like,
we
oh,
were,
yes,
because-
that Matt Dufty.
Yeah, 100% because Matt Duffy was an absolute weapon. He was a good player at the
He had
Dragons.
that game
and then
at
Trent
Combank.
Barrett destroyed his career.
And he had that game at Combank, I think it was against the Panthers. It was like the worst game of his career.
Yeah.
But
That's what Trent Barrett does to him, man.
yeah, but
Ruins him. I
Poor
can't
guy,
wait.
We'll see how he goes.
Let's
Got a
see.
much better side this time. See if he cooks.
Does it? He's missing Gatherwood.
Yeah, no, but
better forward pack.
overall, full strength, he's got a
No, I
much better side than
disagree.
that Bulldogs side.
That Bulldog side on paper was fantastic.
You forget
they just
that
had a terrible
he did,
coach.
He did take Manly to the semi-finals at some point.
He also won a wooden spoon or close, not
Close
a wooden
to
spoon,
one,
but
but-
close to one.
Yeah, so I remember that semi-final
We're-
at Manly
we're
when
like-
he blew up after the game.
I'll have a hot take that I was going to talk about when we were talking about the Eels, but we've just mentioned wooden spoons. We're talking about Souths were the current wooden spooners. Let me give you a prediction, Zane. Eels get the spoon.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Even with Moses and Guffer coming
Yeah.
back? That is big.
Yeah. Eels get the spoon. Load up.
Okay.
There you go. Genuinely.
We're
too.
clipping this. We're posting this.
I know firsthand how bad of a coach Trent Barrett is. I'm seeing the Eels go into a rebuild phase. We know when these things sort of happen, players will start to leave. Like, this just, like, not always.
What do you reckon Zach Lomax is going to take?
Like, for example, like, South, like, Braden Burns left after Demetra.
But that
left,
wasn't
like,
because of
sometimes
Demetra. That was because he.
It happens, though.
He wasn't going to get a spot in the top 30.
And then they're trying to get Queensland Cup players. And then Braden Burns, revenge game, destroys South Sydney. But couldn't get a
He
spot
didn't
in their top
destroy.
30.
He just scored
Souths
two
are
tries.
decimated, and they wouldn't even give Braden Burns a run, and then he comes out and scores 2 tries against them. How good is rugby league? That's rugby league justice. But no, we'll come back to the Eels on that because
That's a
simply
big call,
cannot
though.
wait.
Wow.
Yeah, Eels for the spoon. Trent Barrett can't coach.
You had them top 8 when I did.
The only reason the Eels have fallen, like, the Eels are in the grand final. They signed Trent Barrett as an assistant coach. They come 9th or 10th, and now they're in the bottom 4.
I remember
that is not a coincidence.
I remember pre-season, you were like, I didn't have the
I don't know,
Eels,
as a-
and
yeah.
you had them as
I
like
was a smoky to
potential
win the
grand
comp.
final. And I
Well,
was like,
I didn't expect them to sack Brad Arthur mid-year and have
no,
Trent Barrett
I
take
didn't see
over.
it, but I feel like we'll get to the Eels.
Let's come back. Yeah, we need to come back to it.
I've got an opinion on this.
I've
I
got
wanna
opinions
speak.
as well. We need to come
We
back.
need to talk about the Warriors and the Panthers.
Right,
though.
let's get that over with. Although that was an absolute sensational game. The Warriors beat the
So
Panthers,
Warriors
shockingly.
off the kickoff, kick it dead on the full.
Yeah.
Off the kickoff, Panthers score straight away. I'm like,
Yeah.
the Panthers will roll them here. Wade Egan goes off injured.
Yeah.
I'm like Panthers win 13 plus. End of
Yeah.
story. Toodaloo.
Yeah, literally.
I'm-
No Sean Johnson,
I'm
no
going to
Wade
make a
Egan.
statement. This is the best performance in the Warriors' history.
History?
of their club. Most gutsiest, I'll say.
Yeah, I'll back that.
No Johnson.
Oh.
No Tuivasa-Sheck. No Harris. No Wade Egan for most of the game. And they beat the back 3-time premiers.
I'm not going to say in history because I'm not familiar enough with early days Warriors.
Not best, but most gutsy.
No, most gutsy. In my memory, I can't think of a gutsier effort from the Warriors. But I'm not going to say
I'm
history.
going to
That's
say
a big
since
call.
that 2011 prelim against the Storm.
Yeah, that's
This
it.
is-
Yeah.
Like they had no right to win this
No,
game.
100%.
No right. This
100%.
gave me like Queensland 2020 vibes. The
Yeah.
fact that they won this game.
Yeah, well,
And the crowd went berserk, as I saw.
oh, there was not many people seated after the game ended. Pretty much the whole of Suncorp just stood up and applauded. It was insane. It was just like there's a line in Star Wars. I don't know how familiar you are with Star Wars, but something happens with like this is the most random metaphor ever. But there's this thing that happens in Star Wars Episode 3 where Palpatine becomes like senator or whatever, and everyone's like applauding, and it's like this really ironic thing where the galactic empire has just like turned to the dark side, but everyone's applauding, and they're just like applauding just like the fall of democracy, the fall of, good. And that's what this reminded me of, where everyone was just applauding the death of the best team in the comp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not the death.
It's not the death.
They're going to bounce
but
back.
They're
but
applauding the best team in the comp being defeated. They're applauding them losing.
Penrith are currently, they've lost 3 games so far this season. This time last year, I think they had also lost 3. Yes, they would have, because they lost to the Eels, the Bunnies, and the Tigers.
What a
Yes,
memory. Yeah.
But they're fine.
Yeah,
Not-
no.
Definitely
they'll be
not
right.
going to be like, it's going to be a collapse. Like South last year, they're going to fall apart.
Yeah, no.
And that's a concern I've got with the Sharks. Are they peaking too early?
Yeah. Just
Because
like
we saw
Sam was
South last year.
at Magic Round.
Yes, but South last year, they beat the Panthers, they belted the Storm, belted the Broncos, and belted the Warriors over their top
Yeah.
4. They belted those sides and fell
Yeah.
apart. I don't want to speak too early, but have the Sharks peak too early.
No, you do need to time runs.
We'll look back at this in a few weeks and
Yeah.
say, because they come against the Panthers this week,
Yeah.
the Sharks.
I'll tell you what, on the Panthers, like, I think the next couple of weeks, while Cleary's out, I think they're going to lose a few games. I just, like, Jack Cole and Luai isn't that good of a halves combination.
They still got such a good side, like Dylan Edwards.
They just lost to the Warriors without
I
Sean
know
Johnson.
people are going to
Wayne
say they
Egan.
were terrible in this game. They weren't terrible. They would have beat a lot of other teams.
I don't know if they would have. I thought they were pretty clunky.
Dylan Edwards still had a blinder of a game.
Yeah, no, Edwards is a gun.
Still, like, and we're going to talk about him in Origin soon. How much I rate Dylan Edwards now.
Yeah, no.
Watching him closely.
You said
but
you were high on him last week as well. You gave him the 5 points.
this is one of the best games of the season so far. I know it's probably because it's the Warriors. Everyone loves the Warriors, but, like, you know, if the Storm won like that, would people still be as high about it as what they were? Probably not. But
I think a big part of the applause at the end, though, like, it was because it's the Warriors, but it was also just because it's who they beat.
and it's because who they didn't have playing as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like, they had no right to win that game.
So would you say best game of the season so far?
I don't think I'd go that far, but I can't think of any better, but I feel like there has been better. I just can't think of that right now. I'd have to look at the draw.
Good Friday.
What Good Friday and Bulldogs?
Yes, like
How would that be better?
No, I'm just saying, like, what? It's
Well,
definitely
because
better than
South's
that
beat
game.
Premiership favourites, the Bulldogs.
No, it was
the Wooden
South's only
Spooners
win of
beat
the-
Premiership
South's only win of the
heavyweights.
year. You know, Demetrio praising Latrell for that amazing tackle on Addo-Carr.
Spectacularly illegal tackle.
Yeah, he
Pretty
tried-
sure. Did he get suspended?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
No, he didn't actually. He got put on a report, but Demetrio wanted to give him like
but
the
did
most.
he-
The most.
Did he get suspended off the back of it?
No, he didn't.
He got fined.
suspended the next week against the
Yeah,
Warriors. For
he
it.
got fined for
But
it.
yeah, Demetrio wanted to give it the most courage like moment of the game.
And where's Jason Demetrio now?
He's sacked.
Yeah.
No surprise. And then Alex Johnson tried to question him about it.
Yeah. Anyway, this isn't about South. This is about Warriors
Yeah, so
Panthers.
I always bring South into it.
I always bring the Bulldogs into it sometimes. Not as much as you bring South into it, but sometimes. Any standout players from Warriors
The
Panthers?
fullback,
Tuapiki.
Tuapiki.
Yep.
Tuapiki. Actually, I'm going to look at my list for a second. Of
How's
players.
India 5-4-3-2-1?
Yes.
You had to change it around, are you?
Oh, wait, no, don't worry. No, Tuapiki, don't worry. But
I thought Tamara Martin was really
yes,
good.
he was
T.R.
very
Mara
close to
Martin.
my list.
Yeah.
Tamara Martin. Well, is it T-Mara?
No, however you said.
Tamara.
I butchered and then realised I
Dylan
butchered
Walker, I
it.
thought was solid as well.
Yeah,
But, like, you can't say, like, Warriors had no stars playing in this game. They just
yeah. They just
all work together.
gutsy.
I've ridden them off, like, last week. I'm like, they're done. Like, they've lost 5 in a row. They look awful. Johnston's out. They're gone. But they've come out and they've beat. Well, I still think they can play finals.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But
I
you
don't
watch
disagree.
them now come out and lose by like 14 this week, and we're like, well, all that last week for this. Like,
You know who low-key was like good? Adam Pompey. The Orange
he
Killers
did.
meme.
Yeah, no,
he was
he
decent.
did have a good game, but you know, Dylan Edwards is. I love saying his name. It's one of my favourite non-South
yeah.
players at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know why
Except
you're
I
so
want him to
high
get
on
his old
Dylan
hair back.
Edwards.
I can't
man.
stand his haircut now. Like
Bold
how it's
Dylan.
pulled, it's so
Poor
annoying.
Dylan Edwards. For somebody that missed the game-winning goal, you're very high on him.
Yeah, but
Not very
apart from-
much
he's just in everything. It's like a fullback I'd like to see at South.
in everything except the big moments, apparently.
Well, no. He's a fullback I'd love to see at
Yeah,
South.
you're very. I think you got a bit of a man crush at the moment.
I
You've
do.
spoken about him the last few
Getting
weeks.
5 points every week is
Yeah.
my favourite player. Anyway,
Storm Eels. Let's go back to the
What's-
Eels chat.
first half, it was 16-10 at half time. Munster goes down. I'm like, Eels look good here. I feel like Munster on, they can definitely win this game. I feel like Eels had the same attitude. They're
Can
like,
I tell you what I thought at halftime? I watched Munster go down and I thought to myself, damn it, the Bulldogs have lost at Magic Round and the Eels are going to win. This sucks.
I said, Eels probably thinking the same I did. I'm like, Munster's gone. We should win this game.
Yeah.
Storm came out and just destroyed them that second half. I
Ripped
went and
them
had
apart.
a shower, like for the first 20 minutes of the second half. Came out like
Long shower,
Well,
goodness,
I
20
wasn't in the
minutes.
shower that whole time, but like
Can't say, you got to save water,
I got
mate.
back to the game.
Yeah.
20 minutes in the second, it was like 36-10. I'm like, what has happened here?
Yeah.
And then I claimed, I'm like, this could be a 50 bomb, and Parra supporters
I
weren't very
wish.
happy with me saying that. But just terrible, crap, awful, disgusting. What other words can I use? Pathetic.
In your defence
or-
on the 50 bomb, I saw Parra fans begging for the 50 just to be put out of their misery.
Yeah.
There were Parra fans saying, please put 50 on us, just end the season now. and then the next day their coach got sacked. So kind of
The season's over.
season.
Trent Barrett's not taking them to a grand final there.
Trent, he's not taking them to finals. Trent Barrett's taking them to the spoon.
You're predicting them for the spoon.
Spoon.
Wow.
Mark my words, clip it up. But yeah, no, as it like when Munster went down, it was Eels will win this game. They were fine in the first half. They really were. They were in the fight. They were in the battle.
The second time this year that they've fallen apart in the second half.
It's not. There's been more than 2 times, but 2 big times.
Yeah,
the Dolphins I should
one.
be referring to.
Yes.
There's been a couple of others, but not as big as those 2, where they just I was going to say, how do you describe it? Those words you just used is how you describe it.
That's a lot.
There's not enough adequate superlatives.
I'm going to go through it again. It was
go.
poor, disgusting, awful, pathetic. I think there's a few more. Disgraceful.
Embarrassing
shit,
for an Eels fan.
Embarrassing, all the words. It was terrible. What would the scoreline have been that second half? 32. 32.
What was Storm on? They scored
16,
3
so it would have been 30,
and kicked 2, yes.
Or 30, yes.
32.
32.
32 to 6 in the second half.
Oh, geez.
Yikes. Oh, it's actually funny because when the game was nearing the end, I said to my mate, I was like, Brad Arthur's got to go. But I didn't expect him to go. But I was just sort of like something's got to change. These second half performances.
I think Brad Arthur going as well was their final attempt to get
Wayne Bennett.
Yeah, I'm like, they're like, this is our last chance at him. He might not sign because we've got a coach sign.
Yeah,
I think that might have been. Yeah, let's get rid of him.
I think that's exactly what it was.
Make a play.
Where they're like, hey Wayne, we instead of being hey Wayne, we want you. Maybe we'll sack a coach. It was like, hey, look how serious. Look how committed we are.
Like, too late.
Yeah,
I'm gone. No chance. He'd already signed a deal with South by that point. He pretty much alluded all weekend, all week last week that he's signed.
Yeah.
If you saw his press conference, there's more people asking him about the Rabbitohs than there was the Dolphins.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know. Eels just it's their final shot.
Yeah.
They went with it.
It's like
now
when
it looks like they could get Jason Demetrio.
It's like when a guy's chasing a girl and the girl thinks he has commitment issues, so he's like, I need to prove I'm committed. Sort of like Chandler. You probably haven't seen Friends, but sort of like Chandler and Friends at one point. And he's like, I need to prove I can commit. So then he does something crazy to show that he's committed, and it spooks the girl off. And they don't want to date him. That's what happened here. They're like, no, we're committed, Wayne. Please date us. And he's like,
the Eels aren't going to struggle to get a coach here because I feel like they've got a side.
They've got a coach. What do you mean?
Yeah, but
Trent Barrett, he can coach.
Long term. They've
He's
got
a
a side that on
coach.
paper is still a capable side of doing good things. And I feel like any coach would be happy to walk into that team.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I feel like that they might sign someone like Michael Maguire.
Respectfully to Souths, I think if they're obviously Wayne Bennett signed with Souths, but if a guy like Michael Maguire, for example, had to pick between
I feel like
Souths
he'd be a good suit for
Souths or Eels,
well.
I think you'd almost prefer Eels roster.
Yes.
I think they have a better roster on paper.
But I feel like Michael Maguire would do good stuff with that. It's completely different.
I don't think he'd go there because he's at Origin. Who do you think goes to the Eels?
I'm saying
you reckon
Maguire,
Madge? Yeah, I don't know. I've got a feeling. I don't know why, but I just got a feeling Todd Payton could leave the Cowboys
and go to Parra.
I don't know if he goes to Parra, but I reckon that was the greatest mind blank of all time. Brad Arthur, I think he could end up at the Cowboys.
You reckon?
I don't know why, but that's just a random feeling I have.
I feel like Brad Arthur will stay in Sydney and he'll coach another Sydney team eventually.
Just whoever gets sacked next.
Yeah, probably. Who will get sacked out of the Sydney team? Probably Seabold's probably the obvious one at this point, but
yeah, but not I feel like Dogs are building. They're pretty sweet. If it turns to absolute poo at the Dogs, Serrato will be gone straight away. Yeah, but
Dragons can be harsh at times.
But they've just got Shane Flanagan.
But Jason Riles, I think he's going to be locked into the Melbourne job when Bellamy does eventually decide to finish up. But
I think he's going to have to go into media. Or something
I reckon it's going to be
or assistant
Madge.
I don't think it will be.
They're tossing up Jason.
But who else is there?
They released their shortlist the other day, so they've got.
Read it out for us, please.
These are the people at the club have said they're interested in looking at.
Because I remember seeing this list. I don't know if it's on me, but it is like an official.
Yes. So, all right. So here's the list of. So they've said Parramatta have said Jason Riles. Do you think yes, possibly?
Well, as you said, he's probably going to take over Craig Bellamy, but maybe
Josh Hannay.
Yeah.
Sam Burgess.
No.
He's going to extend. I'm hearing he's going to extend with Warrington to the end of 27. When is Bennett signed? Until 27.
Yeah, and then I think
Michael Maguire. We've already discussed this. I think he's the most likely.
I don't think he will because he's at New South
Yeah.
Wales. What's his contract at New South Wales?
It's a long-term deal, but no one's saying you can't do both.
Yeah, but I just don't think I personally don't think he can or will.
Jason Demetrio.
Surely not. Do
Do you reckon Jason Demetrio with a different squad, with a fresh start, could do wonders? Like we said, this is the same situation. When Anthony Sewell got sacked, I said he'd never coach first grade again.
Yeah.
I don't know if Demetrio would come back as quick. I feel like he will again eventually.
Yeah.
But
He's a chance.
Dean Young.
Yeah. Chance.
And Michael Ennis.
Because he's got ties. He's at Manly at the moment as like in coaching, but he's coached at the Eels before, like not as a coach, but just all as an assistant coach. But they always get like, like the Knights get Joey in to run some drills.
Yeah.
Michael Ennis has done that at Parra, but is he interested in coaching?
And the other
I've
one,
never heard that he is.
The last one is Trent Barrett to just take over the side completely.
Well, if Trent Barrett gets them just like out of the bottom four, there's a world where he just signs even just 1 year.
I remember back like when the Dogs got a bit of form, they wanted Mick Potter to take over.
Well,
But what about names like
that,
Jason Taylor or Mick Potter?
Jason Taylor signed at the Dogs.
I know he is, but
assistant coaches like Jason Taylor's not the worst shout ever. Yeah,
legendary South.
Like even Mick Potter's not the worst shout ever. I don't know where he is at the moment because I think he might have left. I think he might have left.
Yeah.
To coach New South Wales Cup somewhere else, be an assistant. So
who's a
Mick
player
Potter's
that's just retired as well, who's got capability?
I honestly think Michael Ennis is probably more of a chance.
I've heard on NRL 360 someone that some people have been saying is a very good coach and will coach. Well, not might coach, will coach NRL one day. Is Blake Green.
Yeah. Okay.
From the Knights.
Well, that's what.
But I feel like it's too soon for someone like him.
Well, that's where I'm like with Michael Ennis. I remember listening to a podcast once because I think he has like a halves or hooker academy or something where he's coaching young guys. And I swear he said on like the Byron with James Graham. This is from a couple of years ago, and so I could be wrong, but I swear he said he does want to go into coaching one day. And you'd think if they've put him on a list.
What about Justin Holbrook?
Yeah,
I'm hearing people saying that he's very underrated. The Titans just wasn't the right culture for him.
Yeah.
Like he's doing good stuff with the Roosters. He's the attack coach at the Roosters, and their attack is vastly improved from what it was last year. So he could get a shot eventually.
Honestly, I'd have him right up like as a top 3 candidate. Yeah, Holbrook.
But my prediction is going to be Madge.
You think Madge?
Yeah.
I think, and
only because I'd love to see Madge come back.
I think at Hope, but I do think Trent Barrett probably ends up getting maybe just a 1 year extension while they try and find a candidate.
Or do they wait 3 years for Wayne to be available again?
Wayne Bennett has always said that there isn't a lack of talent in the NRL, it's a lack of coaches. When you sit here and you look at all those names, there's no standout. Madge is probably the most standout name. He's coaching.
Who else is coaching? Like Nathan Brown said he's not interested in coaching again. No, Stephen Kearney probably.
It probably just comes down to like where are the assistant coaches? That's where I'm like Justin Holbrook, current assistant coach.
Yeah. John Cartwright.
Like Hannay.
Johnny Cartwright
Young,
still around.
Yeah, I don't know.
What happened to
no standouts?
Neil Henry. He hasn't coached for years, but I mean, like.
No, Jeff Tuvey, bring him back.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Laurie Daly, he could coach.
He could, but I don't think Fittler.
Yeah, Fittler.
Brody Fittler.
Never say never.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be very interesting.
From the Eels coaches. They really wanted Wayne. They didn't get him, unfortunately.
I just can't believe that Trent Barrett's coaching the Eels. It's a dream come true, honestly. It's so good.
See a world where the Eels win 30-4 against the Bulldogs now. They did last year, but 34-4 when no one saw it going. Actually, no, Barrett wasn't coaching in that game, was he?
No, Barrett coached the Dogs that game.
No, he was sacked by that point, wasn't he?
No, that was because that was the year before.
This was 22, wasn't it, when that happened? I think Barrett had just been sacked by that point.
You might be right.
Because he got sacked after Magic Round. Oh, no, he didn't get sacked. He quit.
Sorry, he quit.
Yeah,
no, you're right. That wasn't Trent Barrett. That was Mick Potter.
No, he wasn't sacked, though. He quit.
He quit.
Yeah, rubbish.
He was going to be at the club long before Gus Gould was gone.
Rubbish.
Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. But Trent Barrett's probably he's one of the most experienced coaches out of all the candidates. And I think it would bring me great joy to see like Trent Barrett sign a 5-year deal at the Eels and just win 5 wooden spoons because that's the kind of coach he is. It could, if he signs it, will, because he sucks at coaching. Sucked in, Parramatta fans, sucked in. All right, Tigers, Dolphins.
As I said in my tier rankings, the worst of the best games. Still a good game. Just boring. People were exhausted by this.
This is the 8th best game of the week.
They were just exhausted of footy by this point.
Nobody stayed for this game. It emptied out fast.
Tigers weren't terrible again. They're just not getting it done.
Yeah.
Just not getting it done. Mark Nichols scored early. Game over.
That period where the two, literally. When he scored, I was like, oh, Dolphins have won. We may as well leave. The period where there were the two sin bins, Nate and Nolan, that probably cost them a little bit.
Want me to tell
I
you
just
what
think
happened
Dolphins
to
were
me
the better
during this
team.
game?
Happened what?
What happened to me during this game?
What happened to you?
My KO glitched out and I was
Oh,
20
no.
minutes behind and I didn't even notice. I watched the entire game.
No way.
I leave my room and go to the kitchen. Like my dad was watching out in the living room. The game had just finished. I was like, hang on. Now I'm running back to my room. It's still 18 minutes to go. I'm like, I've just been watching this game 18 minutes delayed.
Oh no.
And I noticed before the game started, it was 6:30 when it kicked off on my laptop. I'm like, I thought it started at 6, but whatever. And I was like, okay. So then I looked at my KO and it was 20 minutes behind. I was like, how did I not notice? I haven't been checking my messages or anything.
Yeah, far out.
I think I did send a message at one point about having first try.
And you just sent it 20 minutes later.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Everyone's like, what's Zane on? He scored 20 minutes ago.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, that was strange. I was like,
as.
oh, okay. So no wonder Dolphins did what they had to do to win.
No, literally it was
Top
a
4 at the moment.
pretty uneventful game, but Dolphins were just the better team. Hammer came alive at the end. Tell you what, Hammer's a dog. At Magic Round, it was if the ball goes into the crowd gets to keep it. And so what players kept doing was if they'd score a try or if the ball went dead, they'd throw it in the crowd or kick it into the crowd. They were trying to get as many balls into the crowd as possible.
You didn't get one, though.
I didn't get one. Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow scores a try right in front of me. I'm in row 4 at Suncorp Stadium, and Suncorp Stadium is pretty damn close to the field. Where we're sitting, where our camera is, obviously the audience can't see that, but that's probably how close the field is from the fence. Hammer scores right in front of us, starts celebrating, and instead of throwing the ball into the crowd, just drops it on the ground, and everyone booed him for not throwing the ball into the crowd. He's a dog. And then karma kept getting, because I think he had 2 or 3 disallowed tries after that. But there is another player from the Dolphins that did the exact same thing off when the ball went dead. They could have just booted it into the crowd and didn't. But I'm not going to name
It wasn't Mark Nichols, was it?
I'm not going to name who it was because I like him too much. But
Avrilo.
yeah, listen. But is there
I don't
anything
have much at all to say about it. It's just whatever. It's the end of the week. Everyone's tired by this point.
It was the last Magic Round game. Respectfully, nobody really cared. And it just the result was just as expected.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just
man.
24-12, whatever. Yeah. Nothing significant. Dolphins won. Tigers just not good enough.
Let's talk about our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s, baby.
Okay, I've got some strange names on my list this week.
Ethan Strange.
No.
That joke.
So 1 point coming off the bench for the Cowboys made a pretty big impact. I noticed it watching it from home because I watched this game. Finny Fuiaki.
Yeah, fair.
I thought he's
in my super good.
2 points.
Hudson. Zane, I have to spell it. Finny
I didn't spell it right on my. Just write Finny Fui, whatever you'd say.
Fuiaki. I reckon I spelled that right. Can I have a look how you spelled it?
I don't even.
This is now a spelling bee.
Finny Fuiaki.
So you've gone Fine.
Yes.
Is it Kane? Finny?
Oh, it's
what's his? I'm blanking on his first name.
Just go to the NRL and look for it.
Finny.
That's how
I
it's
can.
Chemicella something.
You've done bad when you type it into Google and it doesn't come up.
Just look at it from there.
Yeah. All right. Give it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Spelling Bee segment of Orange Pillars.
Sorry.
This week we're spelling Finny Fuiaki. To be fair, there's a lot of names I can't spell in the NRL.
Yeah, what happened to back in the day where it was Smith and Boyd and all that?
But no, even just guys like Pappenhausen and that. It's
I
not
can
just
spell
Highlanders.
Pappenhausen.
I can now, but Travojevic I can now, but I used to not be able to. But my point is, it's not just
when I spell Travojevic, I go Trobo.
Trobo. Trub. That's how I remember it.
You should have just gone to the lineups.
Yeah, listen. Give me a sec. Let me cook. Where are we at? Let me cook like Cody Walker. Here we go. Clifford. Come on, Finna Fuiaki. He was the last player to leave the field too, just quietly. So shout out to him. Lots of times with the fans. So fine, FEU. So have you spelled it?
I figure it had an E instead of an I.
No, there's an E there. Yeah.
Right.
So FINE. And then you've
gone. I got it right.
You got it right.
I did. Okay.
Well
beautiful.
I got it completely wrong. Well done, Zane.
Fuiaki.
Zane wins the Spelling Bee segment of Orange Pillars 1-0. Drop in the comments what name you want us to spell next week.
And then 2 points. Hudson Young.
Hudson Young, yeah.
3 points. Your origin smoky Tom Hazelton.
You didn't listen to what I said. I hope they pick him now.
4 points. Nico Hines.
Two Sharks players.
And then 5 points, Harry Grant, because I thought he dominated that second half.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, okay. My points. 1 point. Armstrong from the Knights. Hat trick.
Okay.
Thought he played well. Braden Burns.
Okay,
Revenge against South Sydney.
Okay. I didn't
Scored a
expect him on the
double,
list.
mate. Scored a double against his
Is it
old
because
club.
he's a Bulldogs legend?
No, he did hit the gritty for me, Zane. I know a soft spot for it, but look the storyline behind it. They refused to give him a top 30 spot. He
They
goes
don't
up to North.
refuse.
They
We had
did.
it- we had-
They had no players, and they said, no, you know what? Even though we're desperate for players, and we're trying to get blokes from Queensland Cup. Screw you,
That is
Braden
not-
Burns.
we-
Get out of here.
He wanted to come back to the club to help with the charity side of things. He wasn't worried about the
And
playing.
then he goes to the Cowboys and he says, stuff you, South Sydney. You should have stuck with me because I've just dropped 2 tries on your head. And so he gets 2 points. 2 points for 2 tries. Hudson Young gets 3 points. I thought he killed it. Nico Hines gets 4. And Harry Grant,
Player of the round.
third player to get the 2 points because he is my player of the week, your player of the week, and player of the round. As you said, like, there was no Munster, there was no Pappenhausen, there was no Jerome Hughes. At halftime, I was like, Eels are going to win this. But no, Harry Grant, did he score 2 tries as well?
think
like,
so, yeah.
Like, he had an absolute blinder. He scored heaps of Supercoach points. So he's this week's player of the week. Last week's winner of the commenting in the comments, stopping Hainsey from getting Roosters players, the guy that got the most likes on his comment, because there were multiple comments, and it's whichever one gets the most likes, their points go towards it. It was AWXLLY_, and they're 5 from last week, from round 10. Atkinson, Edwards, Bearded Sam Walker, Dom Young, and Bradman Best.
Okay.
So their points will be added to the tally. And then obviously, as always, please, in the comments this week, pick your 5 best players. Origin Smokey, Tom Hazelton. Was it Harry Grant? Was it Braden Burns with Revenge? Are you just going to pick 5 Bulldog players? Whatever you want. Comment in the comments your 5 players. And if you get the most likes on your comment, or if you're the only one, your points go towards the total.
Something
Zane,
different this week.
Goodness me. Oh, I don't know. This could go anywhere.
We were the Blues coach. This is the Origin side's weed pick.
Have you done Queensland?
Yeah, I've done Queensland. I've done both.
Yeah, so we're doing our 2024 Origin
Our line.
segment.
No, I predicted what we'd pick.
Very good preface, Zane, because that's important. We're not doing what we think Madge will pick because just
Are
quietly.
we doing them both like number fullback? Both of us say ours?
Yeah,
or-
I reckon that's a shout. Or what do you reckon?
I reckon we do it like
All
that.
right,
It's going to
well,
be exciting.
before we get into it, I do want to say on Origin, and these teams are picked like next Monday or Sunday night or something. So it's like we have to do it now. I think Madge is going to go very vibey, and I think Madge is going to pick a lot of players that are going to surprise people. And that's
So do I.
why I'm so like, this isn't what we think he'll pick. This is what we would pick if we're in charge. And this takes into consideration Mitch Moses not playing this week. Maybe you pick him anyway. It takes into consideration just everything. Like if we were picking the teams now
I'm actually
for
making
them to play when Origin is,
I'm actually making a change to my
like
team.
this isn't for Origin to be played now though. This is like if we were picking Game 1's Origin teams to be played in Game 1, this is what we'd pick if we were coaching. You want to do it one by one?
I've just made a change to my team, but yeah, I'll let you know on. So
We're going one by one.
Fullback.
Let's start with Queensland
you want to start with Queensland?
because let's get them out of the way because I hate them.
Okay, 1. I don't need Walsh.
I've gone Brimson. Nah, Reece Walsh.
Yes.
Reece Walsh. I've gone Corey Allen.
Yeah. 2. Cobbo.
Who's your other winger?
Coates.
I've gone Coates and Cobbo on the
Yeah,
wing. I've
there
got
we
them the
go.
other way
Yeah,
around though.
Okay.
I've gone Coates and Cobbo on the wing.
3. I've gone Holmes, and let me just say
Go both centres.
and
Do
Hammer.
both.
Holmes and
Yeah,
Hammer.
I'm
But
also
let me
Holmes
just
and
say, I think Holmes has had a very disappointing year so far.
I agree.
I didn't think he played well at all in that South game. On Saturday. I thought he had a terrible
I
game.
honestly think there's a world where he gets dropped, Cobbo goes to centre, and Tuolungi comes in.
Yes, but
Yeah, but I don't-
Dane Gagai has been playing well as
Oh, and
as well
Gagai.
recently.
Oh,
That's
no.
another.
Honestly,
I'm sticking with this side, but
I'm changing. I would. Is he retired from Origin or not?
who?
Gagai.
No, but I'm just saying
I'm
they
picking
stick
Gagai.
and pick. They stick
I'm
and pick
picking Gagai.
Billy Slater. I feel like Holmes will
Yeah,
still be there.
but we're not doing predicted. We're doing what we'd pick.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, true.
I'm
but
going Gagai.
I'm sticking with Holmes
I'm going Gagai.
because I feel like he could turn it on in Origin. Number
Yeah.
6, Dearden. Tom Dearden.
With Munster out injured.
Yes.
I've also got Tom Dearden. Mam, the other
Yes.
choice.
Very
Talk to me
tough.
why Dearden
Because
over
Dearden's
Mam.
been there before. And he's played a game and he won a series. Man
Yeah.
hasn't. Man will get his opportunity one day,
Yeah.
but just not yet.
I completely agree. I also, just quietly, and this isn't, he might take this offensively if he hears it, but Ezra Mam gives me a bit of Anthony Milford vibes in Origin. Good at club level, but does he have it in the Origin
Yeah,
arena? I don't
well,
know.
we'll have to wait
He
and
killed
see.
it in the grand final last year, to be fair. Halfback,
Cherry Evans.
I've gone with Drew Hutchison. Nah, Cherry Evans.
So the forwards now, this is where it gets tough because
Go props at once.
Queensland are missing a lot of forwards.
Yeah,
So my props, Lindsay Collins and Mo Fodawaker.
I've gone Lindsay Collins and Ruben Cotter.
Ruben Cotter, we'll get to soon.
He's on your bench.
I've gone Mo Fodawaker.
Yep. Hooker,
Harry Grant.
14.
Ben Hunt.
I've gone Hunt at 9 and
so you're
Hunt
starting Hunt.
because Queensland start Hunt every year.
Yeah.
And then Hunt goes to lock, rotates in, whatever.
My back rowers, Dave Fafita, Roosters legends, and Ruben Cotter in the back row.
In the back row. And then do you see him like rotating into
Possibly,
the forwards?
yes.
Yeah.
But
I've gone Fafita and Nanai as my back rowers.
Nanai will get to soon as well for me.
Lock
is Carrigan.
Yeah, same.
And my bench is Hunt, Nanai, Hopgood, and making his debut, Smokey, Bo Fermel.
Ooh. That's not his debut. He's played already.
No, he hasn't.
Before. Has he not?
No, he hasn't. I think he might have been in the squad. He hasn't played before, but
Are you sure?
Jaden Sewer, you were this close. It was a toss-up between Jaden Sewer and Bo Fermel.
I thought he had.
I think he was close one year, but I don't think...
No. Yeah, no, he hasn't. He must have just been in the squad.
He's played for New South Wales residents. No, he's a Queenslander. He's been talked about.
No, yeah, he is. No, it says, look, it says right here, born in Queensland. Yeah. I don't know why he's played for New South Wales residents.
There, maybe lived in Tweedheads or something.
Look, Queensland under 20s.
Yeah, no, but Bo Fermel is... Then we go to the 18th man. I've got AJ Brimson / Ezra Mam / Sam Walker. I think all of them will be in the squad.
Who are you picking 18th man?
AJ Brimson, only because this is... I know he's got a hamstring injury, but if he's fit, he can play fullback. He can play in the halves if he has to. He could play anywhere in the back line, really. He could play hooker as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Ezra Mam and Sam Walker... Ezra Mam, I feel like, could play in the back line if he had to, but Sam Walker as well, they haven't proven that they can play other positions. Yeah. So AJ Brimson, for me, has got to be the 18th man. So
my bench is Harry Grant. Obviously, that's because they always start Hunt over Grant. And then I've got Jai Arrow, Jaden Sewer, and Hopgood.
So you got Jai Arrow.
Yeah. I've got Arrow because he can...
injured at the moment, but...
Oh, is he?
Well, he's playing. No, he's playing through injury.
Yeah, I've got Arrow. He kills it in Origin. He's tough. He's a Queenslander. I think he can play.
I can't remember he can play
front row and second row. Yeah, with the exactly. That's when I hear Jai Arrow, I just picture that. Genuinely, that's all I picture.
Up his hats all the time. But
yeah, I think
calling Wayne Bennett.
I think with their lack of when I pick teams, I try and think of like rotations. Who's going to come on where, and I sort of go. Grant comes on. Hunt can go into lock. Cotter can rotate into back row. Sewer obviously just back row. Hopgood probably lock. Maybe a stint at prop, and Arrow can do back row and prop. So that's what I've gone. And then 18th man, I've gone to Lungy as an outside back because
it works.
They've got the halves coverage anyway with Hunt.
True. And I didn't even think about that.
And so usually, so that's why I'll go an outside back because if a centre goes down, then they've got to push one of their... Usually they push our cable to centre and he's not even there.
I'm sticking with Brimson.
And so, but Brimson can...
Backline, yeah.
Brimson can cover backline anyway.
And halves if he had to.
Brimson can go to centre and Hammer goes to the wing.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy. But that's our Queensland teams.
New South Wales.
Oh, goodness me.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Fullback. I can't leave him out. He's too good at the moment. Dylan Edwards.
Yeah.
I can't leave him out.
I've gone James Tedesco.
Okay, you have.
Dylan Edwards was my fullback until Nathan Cleary got injured.
I can't. You cannot. You just have to have Edwards. Even if he plays on the wing, I'll be happy. I don't care. He's got to be playing.
If Edwards is fullback, I'm happy. But at the same time, if he's on the wing, I'm not happy. I don't think they should pick him on the wing.
He's got to be in the side.
Yeah, I had him in there, but just with Cleary out, I'm going Tedesco just for a bit of stability.
This is going to get controversial here.
Go both wingers.
This is going to be controversial. Brian Toto and Daniel Tupou.
Toops.
Only because the aerial raid, he can leap. Adokar can't leap. Toto can't leap.
No, he can't.
Aerial That's his weakness, Toto. He can't leap in the air. And if he goes up against Xavier Coates or Selwyn Cobbo, even both, he needs someone like that. I'm going Daniel Tupou.
I've gone Toto and Fox.
Of course you went Fox. Yeah, I'm not surprised, but
he literally played Origin.
I know.
He's literally in form as well. I'm very confused why Fox
diving on the ground is in form.
I'm very confused why Fox isn't spoken about much at the moment because like he's the incumbent and like he's playing good footy. I don't know. I feel like that's just a no-brainer. He
was also the incumbent in 2022.
On the no aerial threat thing, I agree. I think that's something that gets spoken about every year by New South Wales. But I just feel the problem with New South Wales is we seem to always just try and pick to counter whatever Queensland are going to do. And then they just do something else anyway. Like we always go, we need to do the two hookers. We need to do the aerial threat. I think we just need to play our own game. We need to play to our strengths. And I think To'o, obviously, he's in the team. You can't not pick To'o. And I think Fox always plays.
Fox
plays well at Origin.
Also the incumbent in 2022.
This isn't 2022, it's only 2024.
He also did the jersey promotion that year and didn't play.
Oh, the Kurt, right? The
Dance
Kurtz.
battle, whoever loses is the side.
The guy I've got at centre next to Fox also, they play good footy together. And speaking of the centres, who have you got?
I've got Trell and Critter.
I've also got Trell and Critter.
After that game, I'm like, give him a chance maybe. We've got too many injuries. I'm considering Bradman best and Zach Lomax, but I just feel like if you pick Trell in Origin, he will show up and at centre and do what he has to do.
For me, Critter's in there.
Yeah, Critter, yeah.
I've got Critter on To'o's side. So best buddies. And then for me, the other centre position was down to Trell, Staggs, or Matt Burton. Because obviously Bradman Best injured.
I had Staggs and I changed it to Trell.
I've gone, we know that Trell is a good football player.
And I'm saying
he gets too much hate.
2018, Trell and Tupo. Then we got Critter and Bizza on the other side.
Obviously Trell's not playing that good at the moment. He's at fullback. At centre, he's going to kill it, especially in Origin. We know what he's capable of.
I just feel like we need to just see how he goes. Now, it's an ego game. The cameras are on him. He can score tries in the corners because he's playing it. He can get up and look at the camera and post the camera. But
I'm pro Trell. I'm pro Trell in Origin. I think they have to pick him.
I didn't think you'd have him.
Your halves.
I've written different here, but
Surely Moses.
It's Luai and Hines.
Luai and Hines.
On here it's written Hines and Moses, but I've changed.
So originally you had Moses, but because he's not playing this weekend, Hines goes.
And I did write this before the team list came out. I thought he was playing this week, but
I had Hines and Moses as well as my halves, and then because he's not playing this week, I'm not picking him. I wanted to see him play a game, and so I've gone Hines, and you watch me sit here and stew over it beforehand. I've gone Burton at 6, but it's very hard to pick the 6. I can understand why you go lower, especially because do you have Burton at 18th man?
Yes.
Or on the bench?
18th man.
Matt Burton's the perfect 18th man, especially if in New South Wales you don't have any halves coverage, in my team at least, on the bench. But yeah, I think Burton's playing better footy than Luai at the moment. And I just think that Hines and Burton, the thing that I like about Burton with Hines at halfback is that he can help out with the kicking, where I feel like Luai doesn't really do much kicking. And you want both halves kicking so Queensland can't just pressure one kicker.
Yes.
And that's why that's one of the big reasons I've gone Burton. Front rowers.
Gerbo. Yeah. Payne Haas.
Yeah, I'm the same. Gerbo, Payne Haas. I like Gerbo out there defensively to start the game. Hooker. Haas picks himself.
Appy.
I've gone Cameron McInnes.
We'll get to him.
Do you have him on the bench?
I've got him as 14.
Yeah, so let's talk about that because
Maguire loves him.
I want to say the reason I'm starting with McInnes, it just is so he can get out there, get through the first 20 minutes, get through all the hard work, the contact. Because just look at Cameron McInnes' face. That man loves contact. Ask his teeth. He doesn't have it. He loves contact. And that's why I'm like, McInnes, he's only starting, not because he's better than Appy. I think Appy is better, but because I just think...
McInnes doesn't play hooker for Cronulla. Yeah, that's my issue.
But he's going to go out there, get through a bunch of work, and then
I feel like Appy's going to play 80 minutes.
You play McInnes as
and he's coming on at lock in second row or whatever. I feel like Appy's playing 80 minutes.
I'd have McInnes at 9 to start with. Just the first 20, Appy comes on, and then when McInnes comes back, he comes into the forwards.
Yeah, well,
he's literally...
I have a different view
first
about
20
McInnes
minutes,
than what
I just have him there to just... Tackle Queenslanders.
I'm not doing the whole 2 hookers anymore.
Yeah, okay.
But McInnes, he can play hooker, but
that's what I'd do. Back rowers.
Olakawatu. Keon's obviously there as well, but he's not been the best form. But Olakawatu's better at the moment. But I've pretty much the exact same player. Those two, they look the same. They play the same. Then Liam Martin.
Yeah, okay. No Crichton.
Get to him soon.
Is he on your bench?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've gone Crichton and Martin to start, and I've gone Olakawatu on the bench.
Okay. Yeah. So we got the same back. Yeah. I've got another back row.
I feel like Olakawatu, he hasn't played Origin yet, so that's where I'm like, I prefer him off the bench.
I've got another back rower who can play prop on my bench, who's probably a bit of a surprise.
And then your lock, I assume,
is Yo. Which I didn't like doing.
If Murray was available,
yes, then Yo would be on the bench.
Yeah, I'd be the same.
Yo would come on as more of a prop sort of forward.
I'd be the same.
Murray, it has a lot more pace for Origin footy.
And then what's your bench?
Cameron McInnes, Junior Parlo. He's not been the best form, but
I feel like he's
still
been alright.
Pick him. Mitch Barnett.
Oh, okay. And that's the back row that can play prop?
Yes. And then Angus Crichton with Matt Burton as 18th man.
So you're going Port. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you got 2 props.
So that was my change that I made literally as we did. I took Regan Campbell-Gillard out and put Mitch Barnett in.
Yeah, okay. And so I'm just trying to like work out. So with the bench, so you got McInnes who can cover prop and lock, so you could rotate into lock and hooker if needed.
You've got just anyway, really. Like put him at fullback.
You got Paulo who's just going to play prop. Obviously, like that's not a bad thing. You got Barnett who can play either prop or back row.
Lock as well.
And then you got Crichton who comes on back row.
But so Barnett rotation wise makes sense if he had to. Like, I feel like McInnes would go in first, but yeah.
Rotation wise, that makes sense. My bench, obviously Appy comes on and plays hooker, and then McInnes will rotate into the forwards. Paulo as well. Yeah. I was tossing up between Paulo. Is it Barlow? Oh, sorry, I'm saying Paulo. I was tossing up between him or Regan Campbell-Gillard. I feel like he's been the better of the two this year. Ola Kawatu, we already talked about him. And then I've gone Stefano Uitkamanu at 17.
I couldn't bring myself to pick
I
him.
don't mind Barnett there. And I don't mind him
only because I took him out over Regan Campbell-Gillard because we already have props, and I feel like Barnett can play second row and lock him as well if he had to.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that
play
at all.
Anywhere in the forwards.
I feel I'm going to stick with Stefano because I feel like if we need another back row, like Yo can rotate into the back row, and obviously Olakawadu is there. And then who was your 18th man?
It was Burden.
Oh, that's right, we said that Burden. My 18th man because Burden's in this. Yes, Matt Burden. I've gone Edwards at 18th man.
Yeah. He's got a play.
It was between Edwards or Drinky.
I'll be so disgusted if a player as good as him doesn't play Origin.
My team doesn't have a whole heap of halves coverage, and that's where I'm like, maybe Drinky, but I've just gone Edwards. Because once again, I feel like New South Wales always just play worst case scenario. They try and play defensively. Not defensively is literally like picking a team that can tackle, but defensively is in trying to counteract what Queensland are going to do. And I feel like instead of picking a team where you're like, oh, what if somebody gets injured? Let's pick a team where we're like, everyone stays healthy. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's why we'll
have
Dylan
to see
Edwards.
how this goes, see how different it is when they announce the sides next Monday.
All right, Zane, before we get into our cheeky little preview of round 12, Indigenous round, just quietly, which makes the next
special
segment,
occasion.
Makes the next segment exciting for next week.
We forgot to do Kid of the Week from last week.
If you listen to what I'm saying, Zane, as I was saying...
Go for it. Had a long day.
You have had a long day. It being Indigenous round this week makes the segment we're about to do very exciting next week.
Yes.
But this week, Kid of the Week...
2 teams between. There's 2 Queensland sides. I feel like you're going to go... the other one that I'm not going to go with. So I'm going the Titans.
Yeah, I did go with the other one. Yeah.
You went the Broncos?
Yeah, I went Broncos.
I like theirs as well, but I like the back of the Titans one. I didn't like the front.
Yeah, the Titans one is sick.
The wave is like, guess a Gold Coast reference. Like it's just,
very much a Gold Coast reference. They have waves.
Snapper rocks,
The reason
I went... coordinates when they revealed it, do you see?
Yeah.
And it led to Snapper rock, which I've holidayed at a lot. I'm like, so...
I was at the Gold Coast yesterday. I went to Ripley's, believe it or not.
Yeah. I love Gold Coast.
Very nice up there.
Wish I was going there in a few weeks just so I could go to Movie World and Ripley's.
Yeah, Ripley's is mad. I must say...
I probably could pull it off though.
When I was at the Gold... What do you mean?
Because of what's happened today and what could happen over the next few weeks. I probably could pull off going to the Gold Coast.
You should.
I'll see.
That makes it sound like you're...
Do I go to the Gold Coast in a few weeks?
That makes it sound like you started selling drugs or something. That was so suspicious.
No. Do I go to the Gold Coast in a few weeks or do I go to Redcliffe on a Thursday night in a couple weeks after that?
I would be going to the Gold Coast.
So would I.
I always forget how nice the Gold Coast is as a place. It's also... some of my best family...
You wonder why their sporting teams just never succeed there.
Yeah. Well, I've only been there a handful of times, but some of my core memories as a kid, family holidays, were on the Gold Coast, and that's where I'm so it's just nostalgic.
Surfers Paradise Resort.
Even just you got Time Zone there.
Yeah.
That's a bit nostalgic. Just the Mac is right near the beach.
Have you been to Seabus before?
No.
You haven't?
No. I literally said yes. I should have gone to Seabus.
Yeah, you got to go.
Because I was there obviously at the Gold Coast.
It's a good stadium.
I was at the Gold Coast last year, as you were known as. The viewers probably wouldn't know because we didn't film that week.
Yes.
Because of all the dramas with my flight delays and stuff. And that was the last time I went there, but was there yesterday. But anyway, that was Kid of the Week. Sidetrack. I did want to say the reason I went Broncos Heritage is because I feel like for Magic Round, the NRL should do Heritage Round.
I was going to pick that jersey, but I'm like, you will probably pick it, so I'll go the Titans one.
Yeah, I think it'd be sick if every team in Magic Round wore a Heritage jersey, or every team. Heritage jersey on Heritage jersey. I think that would be sick, and that's why I went the Heritage. Bulldogs Dragons kick off Indigenous round Thursday night footy at Accor. Bulldogs Dragons
only be
Accor
described
8
as a blockbuster Thursday night game. Going to break the crowd records.
I simply just cannot wait for this one. Zane.
I'm going to go the Dogs because
the Dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think they got to bounce back. Dragons had a win last week. They are coming off a bye.
Could
Dragons win? Yes, they could.
I'll give you a tip, Zane.
You're working this week.
You think I'm going to do that against the Bulldogs? No way. No way. Sorry, did you say 1 to 12?
I'm actually going to go 13 plus.
Yeah, okay,
So
wow.
I need to make a statement.
Well, we've lost, 2 or 3 in a row now? Or I think we lost 2. Did we play Knights and then Panthers we lost 2 and then Raiders we lost 2? So we need a win if we want to be a serious team. Yeah.
I think you will.
Try scorer. I'll tell you what.
I'll go with my favourite guy, Josh Adokar, just so he can try and
even though you didn't even pick him in Origin.
Exactly.
Usually he has a really good game before Origin.
Yeah.
Usually. This one hurts me a little bit. So I'm on Dogs 13 plus. I pretty much for all the reasons you said, where they just need to bounce back. Not working at the Dragons this week, so helps as well.
There you
The try scorer though hurts me. Well, every year that in the last 3 years, Jake Avarello scored against the Dragons every game. He had 5 tries in 2 games. No, 6 tries in 3 games. And so I sat down and went, oh, Jake Avarello to score. And then I remembered, oh yeah, doesn't play for us. Sad times. But the right centre does play for us. Stephen Crichton to score. Also to secure his Origin spot. That's what I'm going with. Cowboys, Tigers.
Cowboys. I'll go 13 plus back at home, but Tigers, they're trying their best.
Have a look at their lineup.
Which one?
Tigers. Not great.
Got to go Cowboys.
Olam's out. Naden's out. Caesar's still out. Have a look at their
Cowboys.
centers.
I'm going Murray Tuilagi to score.
Hang on. I want to Tigers on paper because I actually was going to go. So you got Cowboys 13 plus and Tuilagi.
Yeah.
I was originally going to go Cowboys 1 to 12, and then I looked at the team list. Charlie Staines, Declan Casey, Josh Felaherty, and Solomon Alemar.
Not a good bad. Cowboys.
I've absolutely
Cowboys could. Cowboys are going to destroy that back.
Alemalo. Now, shout out to Declan Casey, ex-Bulldogs legend. He's potential Orange Feelers gets in the future. It's been teared up a couple of times. I'm going to go Cowboys 13 plus as well. I'm going to go Val Holmes to try and get himself into
After
Origin.
I just ripped into him.
Yeah, and I agreed with everything he said. Manly Storm, Battle of Brookie. I'm pumped for this one, Zane, because Storm, they're missing Munster. They're missing Pappenhausen. They're not at full strength. And Manly coming off
Manly
a pretty good
Manly
game.
always put up a game against the Storm.
And Manly have some players back, like Saab's back now.
They put up a game against the Storm.
Yeah.
The Storm.
Okay.
So who's back? Munster's not playing. Hughes is back. Pappenhausen's still out.
Yeah, these are the team lists. So you got Saab, Talau,
I'm going Manly. I'm going Manly.
You're going to go Manly?
No, I'm going to go Manly by this much.
Field goal.
A field goal.
Manly by 1.
They always
if they don't win by 1, it
put
doesn't
up a
count.
fight against the Storm. They beat the Storm there last year. 22, they beat the Storm at Brookie.
Yeah.
21, they didn't. But they didn't. Probably
try scorer?
I'll go someone like Jason Saab, like on the wing. Yeah,
you go on your safe picks now that you got a taste of winning a week, didn't you?
I'm not going to pick Tom Hazelton as you might, but Origin smoky Tom
Bro,
Hazelton.
he scores tries. Can we stop this Tom Hazelton slander? What do you have against Tom Hazelton? What do you mean? Like, you're going to pick him because Origin. Bro, he scores a try every week. He's a try scoring machine. He's got more tries than Alex Johnson.
Yeah, but Johnson's been
I
out this year.
I think Tom Hazelton might break the NRL try scoring record before Johnson does. Can we stop the Tom Hazelton slander, please? He's a good player.
Yeah.
Give him some. You picked him in your 5-4-3-2-1s.
I did, yes.
I didn't.
I didn't pick him in my Origin sides, did I?
Neither did I. Oh, goodness me.
Anyway,
I'm going Storm 1 to 12.
Yeah, fair
and I'm
enough.
going Codes, but
Raiders,
I don't mind Manly in
Roosters.
this one. Yeah, hit me.
it's either going to be Roosters 13 plus or Raiders 1 to 12. I'm more confident of Roosters 13 plus bounce back.
Yeah.
Probably when I say 13 plus, it'll be like 38-0.
Ooh.
Something ridiculous like that. I could just...
Yep.
And I'll go Joseph Manu to score.
Is he back?
Is he back? If he's not, then
Let's have a look.
He didn't play last week, did he?
You picked up Walsh last week and you ended up with Cobbo.
Yeah.
And still won. Yeah,
He's
Manu's
back.
back.
Okay, he'll score.
All right, I'm going Roosters 13 plus as well, but I've got Young down here. Which Young do you think I mean?
Dominic Young.
Dom Young.
I'd say.
Dom
Yes.
Young, yeah. Roosters 13 plus, Dom Young. Sharks, Panthers.
What a game. Sharks are in form. Panthers coming off a loss.
Yeah.
This is at Shark Park.
It is here. Let me get up the team list because once
People
again...
always say you need to lose a game to continue a run. I'm not saying... I feel like Sharks are due for a loss.
That's what South did last year, and how did it turn
but
out?
I feel like Sharks are due for a loss, and I feel like Panthers hard to see them lose back-to-back.
Did they lose back-to-back after they lost to... No, they haven't. They've only lost 3 games.
No, I think I'm going to go Panthers, but Sharks certainly can win this. I just can't see Panthers losing back-to-back, and I think the Sharks are due for a loss. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Sharks, they've lost one game this year, but
to the Tigers.
To the Tigers, yeah. But I just feel like they need another.
So Panthers 1-12.
Bring it back to earth a bit. Yeah, they've had some massive games recently.
And
it's just
try scorer.
Edwards. You know why? You know why?
You love him, bro. All right. Yeah, I'm just looking at the team because obviously
who's your try scorer?
there is somebody out. Which I'm like, we should have talked about it, but no, we shouldn't have talked about it. There is a Panthers player in a bit of curry at the moment who's out. Obviously Cleary's still out. Cole, Vomit Boy Cole. We should have. How did we not touch on that? Jack Vomit Boy Cole. Goodness me. My rule, Zane, when it comes to Sharks. No, sorry. My rule when it comes to Panthers. I have 2 rules in tipping. Don't tip against Warriors in New Zealand. Don't tip against Panthers. No,
don't tip against
Panthers. Don't tip against Panthers. And also, don't tip against the Bulldogs because they're my team. I'm going Sharks.
Okay.
I'm tipping. I'm breaking my own
big
rule.
Sides. It's just like so. It'd be. I can honestly see him doing it. Yes.
The way Sharks played on the weekend and the way Panthers played on the weekend, Sharks win.
Panthers aren't going to play that bad again. No, not back-to-back weeks.
They could.
They could, but I don't think.
I just don't think the halves combination is it. I think Jack Cole maybe a little bit sick on the weekend. But yeah, I'm going Sharks 1-12.
Yeah, I wanted to tip Sharks. I just feel like this is the game they're going to lose.
Originally, I went Brian Toto as a try scorer, but I'm going Tom Hazelton, the shine to score a try after you've just slandered him all day. I think he deserves a bit of love from the Orange Peelers gang. So Tom Hazelton to score a try. South Eels.
God, as we were saying last night, it was the battle for Wayne Bennett. Not that anymore. Bennett is confirmed at South.
It's now just
the battle.
Parra,
take that L.
Battle of the interim coaches, Zane.
Yeah, God, I feel like this is going to be high scoring. It's going to be like a 32-22 sort of score.
Well, I can promise you a Trent Barrett coached Eels side are going to leak a lot of points because that's what happens.
This is going to be lots of points in this game, I feel. It's Indigenous round. Surely the Indigenous boys put it on.
Yep. Souths, as in? Eels have Indigenous players
they do,
as well.
Souths are like... got notable Indigenous players.
Are you trying to say Jermaine Hopgood's not notable?
Yeah, no, he is. But South have Trell, Cody, AJ, Tallis Duncan.
Yeah, fair.
Indigenous with Jacob
Gagai.
I
feel like Jermaine Hopgood's copping strays out here.
No,
Come on.
Jack Wyden's there as well. But I'm going to go South. I'm going to go AJ.
Margin?
1-12. Like I said, 32-22.
Yeah, and AJ.
That would be my exact. Just South, they got to win a game soon. They got so unlucky last week. Parramatta... probably can win, probably will win. Yeah. Moses was playing, I'd say Parramatta 13 plus. Only because he'd be playing for an origin spot and he'd absolutely have a blind.
Remember against Bulldogs when he just killed us?
That's what I was. Yeah. But when I saw he wasn't named, I'm like, South have an opportunity here. Not easy win, they have an opportunity.
Now, I just spoke about my rules, Zane. Don't tip against Panthers. I've broken that one. But don't tip against Warriors in New Zealand. I'm keeping that one later on. And don't tip against the Bulldogs. In round 12, I'm introducing a new rule.
What?
Never tip a Trent Barrett coach side.
Oh, God, you're not tipping Eels for the rest of the year, eh?
I'm going Souths 1-12, and I think Tromit scores a try in Indigenous round. And
I'm just picking AJ just for the fact I hope he gets a few so he can overtake Tom Hazelton and we don't have to have this debate again.
So now not only are you comparing Tom Hazelton to Lockie,
AJ is
you're now comparing him to AJ as well.
He's not going to be on Simon Sevo's side because Sevo's a liability in defence.
It'll be the other side.
I'm trying to look at who's matching up here.
Mate, they're coached by Trent Barrett. They're all going to score tries. It doesn't matter what the matchups are. None of them can tackle now.
So AJ will be against Bailey Simonson and Sean Russell.
And they're both coached by Trent Barrett, so neither of them can tackle.
Then on Jacob Gagai and Cheekham's side is going to be Sevo and Penasini.
And neither of them can tackle because they're
Who is
also
putting
both
Cheekham up against Sevo? Well, just whatever. That's terrible decision.
Relax. They're coached by Trent Barrett. They're not going to win. Trust me.
These two even have photos? No, they don't. They're not even listed. They're not even listed. Hornby and they're not even listed on the lineups.
Yeah, sick. Sick. Let's move on to Broncos Titans. I just said sick a lot. Shout out to Jack Cole.
Broncos win. No, Titans.
Yeah. Reece Walsh is back.
Yeah,
Titans
Broncos,
don't have anyone back.
Titans did beat them in this game last year, though.
Yeah.
They did have people playing with Walsh playing.
Yeah.
Broncos, surely.
13 plus? 1-12?
I'm not willing to say 13 plus against the Titans. Like, I'm sure they'll put up a fight, but...
You're high on the Titans.
I'm not high. I'm just saying, you don't know what they're going to toss. Like,
they'll probably be winning.
Could they lose this 40-0? Yeah, they can lose this 40-0, but can they... The scoreline be like 28-26 and they still lose? Yes. I feel like that's what it's going to be.
So what are you going with?
Broncos 1-12, and I'll go... You know, I'll go Smoky this week. I'll go Payne Arthur score. I'll try.
Goodness me, that is smoky. Just all the Origin players.
Yeah.
I'm going Broncos 13 plus. I'm going Dean Barron, nice and safe.
Yeah, back an edge player against the Titans edge defense.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
a bad choice.
Warriors, it's like when you come up against the Titans, you just back an edge player because edge players like tries. And when you come up against the Eels coached by Trent Barrett, you just back any player because they're coming up against a Trent Barrett coached player. Warriors, Dolphins in New Zealand to wrap up
I don't
the
want to
round.
overhype the Warriors now because they got that win. Because Dolphins, they're going good. I think Warriors win over there, though. They need to get their season back on track. They started it last week. They need to continue it now.
Yeah.
So I'm going the Waz. I'm going
Applause.
Dallin to score.
And
I
margin.
would say 1 to 12. I'm not going to 13 plus. It could be 13 plus.
I am
but
going with the exact same thing.
Okay.
Warriors 1 to 12 and Dallin Watenis
we're
a
both
Lesniak.
gonna get
So
we're both going to get points there, or we're both not going to get points
put
there,
your
so-
house on that one, baby. I'm just looking one different tip this week. Good stuff. Sharks and Panthers is where the
gonna
difference
come
is. And
down to it.
I had Panthers written down. I'm like, nah, screw it. I've got a feeling Sharks win. But anyway, that'll do us. Zane, shout out to Tom Hazelden.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trent Barrett. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Alex Johnson. We can throw in there.
Why?
Because why not?
Fair enough. Anyone
Finny
else?
Filiaki. Spelt your name right.
Yeah, sorry.
Shout him out as well.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I'm sorry for spelling it wrong.
Who else?
Josh Adokar.
Yeah, Josh Adokar.
You left him out of Origin. Dylan Edwards.
Dylan
hopefully
Edwards.
goes. And shout out to Michael Maguire picking his first ever New South Wales side this week. Please don't screw it up. Let's trot, baby.